Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Gördüm beyler, al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya, abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Gördüm beyler, al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya, abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Gördüm beyler, al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya, abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başına çok
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi oldu.
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başına geçiyor.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Armeni de aldın dur.
Ben çekiyorum ben de, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi oldu.
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başına geçiyor.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Armeni de aldın dur.
Ben çekiyorum ben de, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Hello everyone and welcome back. One day of action is already down here for the always on Romanian monthly final season 1. Now we're entering day 2. It's going to be down to business here for our 16 teams to see who will be crowned our champions and who will be, well, staying in their bedroom, I suppose, and unfortunately sulking as they do not take home today's extra prize pool. My name is Maxman, going to be joined by the one and only amazing DK. And DK, I have one question for you right now. Will the reign of the vicious end, or will it continue in today's 5 matches?
Ooh, well, I've consulted some people to get answers on things, right? Unfortunately, they didn't answer me back, so I don't really know, but I'd say most likely yes. Based on what we saw yesterday, yes, right? There's no chance for them not continuing doing what we have already seen them do. But the big question, I think, to add in addition to that is anybody else maybe going to look to step it up today? Because it's the last day, the final 5 games to show us what they've got.
maybe it's going to be the big babies. Maybe it's going to be Team Rain, or maybe it's even going to be EBL Esports. All teams that have been contending for some of these wins throughout the entirety of yesterday. But a lot of the games, of course, did go in favor of the Vicious, as we know. But yeah, as you said, it could go anyone's way. We did see it back in the Polish edition of this tournament, right, DK, where we did see a little bit of a comeback on day 2, where they did fumble, and we did see GR Esports in particular step up to the plate, almost ready to rival the first place team. Could that be happening today for the Romanian edition of things? 87 points, that's currently the point threshold for first place of the Vicious, followed up by Big Baby 65, Team Rain 61, and then 50 points heading the way of EBL Esports. So for me, DK is clearly a big top 4 fight currently, but I know we had a bit of a conversation of other teams you'd like to see step up massively in the middle pack of these leaderboards. I said OnBack V2, you said Team Moldova. Are you still a Team Moldova believer here, DK?
Yes. Yes, Max. Yes, I am. Ugh. I mean, realistically, they could still catch up, right? I mean, it's only like 12 points they need to try and close that gap up. So
what was that war cry? Sorry. Yeah.
Getting into it, dude. It's like, oh, yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit better. I'll give it to you. Thank you. That got a giggle out of me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, anyways, that's the leaderboards we're looking at right now. Also, if you guys did not check out the end of day 1, our MVP was, let me check to make sure I'm not saying absolute nonsense, was Redox with 15 eliminations. Could we have a new MVP today? Could we have someone take that title away from Redox? I think Narvalo is a very clear contender in my mind, but on other teams, of course, we still have some contenders. Big Baby, they have Baban that's got 13 eliminations, so he could be trying with 2 extra eliminations here, DK, to snatch that title away for himself. So Redox, he better not rest on his laurels. His position up there is not fully safe just yet.
I mean, don't forget about Grodex, right? Grodex also has 15 eliminations. So, if Grodex goes a little bit crazy, as we've seen yesterday, we had a few tastes of that. They could be quite an exciting day, quite a bit of a showdown for our MVPs, because currently we've got at least 3 players I can see that have 15 eliminations to their names. So it's going to be a pretty tight race across the board, just as tight as it is for our teams to get themselves situated down on this map.
Please, no big fight in Test Track Neox Factory. We had it the entire day yesterday, DK on Rondo. It lasted so long for very little to no reason whatsoever. So hopefully we're not going to be seeing that big kerfuffle happening over there. I'm seeing a lot of people actually towards a central position right now on Rondo, which Yulin does look quite busy. We do have, what is that, 1, 2, 3, am I seeing 4 to 5 teams possibly? I think that's the case, and well, that's Neox Factory 2.0. It seems right now we're going to be having who's going to survive. Well, not apparently Hugo. He's gone. He's dead.
Yep. I mean, it's Yulin. They're all in, so we're going to see who's going to be reigning supreme at the end of this one. As our MVP from yesterday touches down, gets ready to get that ball rolling. But it is an interesting startup coming through here from the side of Vicious, right? I mean, pretty consistent play that they have gone for here. The whole squad, of course, trying to stay relatively close together. Now, Rosa, also one of those teams that we actually saw step up quite a bit yesterday. Walking away with, I believe it was, 28 eliminations? Exactly the same amount as what Team Moldova has been able to secure here. So, let's see, can they lock it in? Can they find a few additional points? BLL, though, Max, back in day 1, we were looking forward to seeing what they could be bringing in. We didn't see all too much just yet, but hopefully it starts changing for them right here in day number last.
Day number last, my favorite day, my favorite number. It would be good to see some more presence from BLL going into this one. I mean, of course, they do have also an interesting roster. We saw some interesting plays from Rexo, I believe. It was on their first game on Rondo. Outside of that, didn't see too much. It was like kind of a flash in the pan situation. So hopefully we can definitely see some more presence from these lads today. Here we go though. Fight's going to be happening with Big Baby. Again, this fight currently localized entirely within Yulin. And Exo. Again, I'm not sure if this is Exo McKenna, who is a very big pro player, especially big in the past 2 to 3 years. If that's him, this is a big deal. If it's not, a little bit of a smaller deal, but still a deal nonetheless. As Keystone going to be a little bit farther forward for his teammates. And currently, without actually way more forward than I expected than his teammates, he's currently going to be very, very far from his lads. And that's going to be it. He's taken out. Should get recalled at a recall tower by his squad mates. And unfortunately, that's how it goes. But it is Rondo, meaning you do have a second opportunity at life here.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have a teammate at the recall station, then you have another opportunity. Team Moldova, though, down to a 2-piece. So if they are going to look to bring in that res strategy, they're going to have to be very tactful with that. In the meanwhile, is going to be a Romanian Evolution getting ready for a little bit of that bling action here into Ling. Ooh, a lot of rhyming here today, right? Ooh. We got Tulin, where it's all in and it's just going crazy. We got, yeah, Zhao Tin. Bling,
okay, Shakespeare,
everything.
Calm down.
Woo.
Whoa, he's popping off with all the words. It's like it's his job. Who would have thought? It's crazy. Yeah. My inner poet is coming out. But speaking about poets, though, I want to see a little bit of that spray. Not that either of those two things are related, but here we go. As NASA Esports steps it up, it is Evolution just up ahead of them. And an interesting play here because, I mean, NASA, we've been seeing quite a few attempts from them, but coming in with a 3-piece into this match is definitely going to put them in a little bit more of a challenging position here. I'm laughing a little bit there because I'm seeing he puts this very elaborate smoke road with the M79 in front of him, and he's just like, ah, screw it, and jumps over the gap. He's just, I've had enough of this one. I'm too lazy to do the entire smoke road. He's going to try and force it solo, it seems. Salam. Oh no, actually, I lied. He has a teammate right behind him. There you go. That's the kind of support we want to see. Molotov going to be spreading on wide, going to be forcing a player of Romanian Evolution to leave this container. And now they're pushing, getting a little bit of extra elevation here. I like the angle being taken. You've got to be careful. Jumping right behind him. He's going to go back inside, taking himself a 1v1. Really good pickup. Going instantly for the flush, making sure that point goes their way. While his teammate on the other side of that fight picks up is also own solo elimination. So far, Romanian Evolution's looking really strong versus NASA.
I mean, they are, right? They've got 3 eliminations up against the solo here of Bling. Ooh. We just test out those weapons. You know, this reminds me a lot of one of our teammates, Max, that does the same thing, right? Hits the fire button at sometimes at very inappropriate moments. Just goes, brah, we're over here. It's like, oh, no.
Don't get me started, man. Like, every time we play with... Because typically, story time, me, DK, Nipchura play a lot of good old PUBG Mobile, especially Ultimate Royale. If Nipchura is high enough rank, which she isn't very often. She's quite a noob. But, when we do play, we're trying to be like super silent, like, hey guys, no noise, we're playing in this compound, no one's gonna know we're here. And then of course she's like, oh, I misclicked on like an M24, like just the most loud weapon in the game. And of course then our cover is gone and we get breached upon, and because we are noobs, all of us, we instantly die in 1v3. True story. That happened many times, and Nipchura sent me a DM on Discord. I think she's listening, and I'm not going to apologize because she knows it's true. She knows this is the true, unspoken truth of her gameplay. But you know what? We'll keep on playing because it's goddamn fun. Here we go. Christian, though, going to be inside this building. The nade doing a little bit of damage, just a tickle. There's also, actually, we're going to have 3 teams here. Team Rain just fully surrounded. But this is fine. Not the entire team is here, DK, meaning even if they do lose 2 players, I believe the recall will be coming through. So if Rain lose this one, we still will be seeing them later on in this match.
Yep, they can continue their reign of pressure coming through. But yeah, we'll see soon enough how they're going to look to expand on that. But I got to say, though, if it wasn't for that nade that we saw landing close to Christian, he actually would have had a beautiful shot coming through that window, almost like that grenade, nearly making its way on through. So Robbie needs to be very, very careful. As the follow-up nade is there, it goes inside, but unfortunately, there's nobody to receive that nade. On the opposite end, though, it is going to be Inferno. Ooh, finding a little bit of a cheeky nade there onto Zach, and Zach gets attacked, but are they going to be able to respond in time?
Possibly. Maybe. Who knows? Zaki. Waiting, possibly for a teammate to res him, but he's going to be in a pretty dire situation, and so dire, in fact, he gets a nade thrown right into his face. That's going to require a lot of makeup to fix up. Here we go, though. Yeah. Alliance now looking to commit to the breach. They've now created a bit of a man advantage situation, and by a bit, I mean massively, as they are going to be taking a 4v1 unless he gets to res in time, which he might just get. He's given a lot of time before they do push inside, and he will not be able to pull it off. That's an easy 2 points secured for the side of Alliance, a team that you've been paying close attention to right on day 1, DK. And so far, day 2 off to a fantastic start for this squad.
Yeah, I mean, they've jumped up quite a bit already if you look at what they've been able to do so far. I mean, they started off in 9th place. They are now all the way up in towards 8th. So up is up is up. I love to see that. But they're not out of the woods by any measure, right? We still have the Romanian Evolution team that is also adding eliminations on board. Not even to mention the Romanian squad that we have applying the pressure currently to them. So it is going to be some pretty high stakes gameplay coming through, at least for these, involved squads in that altercation. But as we look at the rest of the lobby, we do have some blue zone sippers out there, right? Rosa all the way out over towards Miramar. We got Rain now all regained up into the lovely test track.
Oh no.
Ooh, so that's an interesting spot.
Yeah, I just saw Redox trying to drive away and he got caught by the EMP zone. It's always terrible when that happens. You just get caught in the worst area. I would love to see a Redox POV to see is he in a really bad position. Are there going to be players coming up around him? But it seems like he will be okay. But that is always a little bit of an unfortunate timing situation when that happens. Well, actually, you know, maybe DK would take that back because I think you have a lot of time before the EMP zone blooms and takes full effect. You should be prepared before it takes effect in the game, but sometimes what can you do? The circle pops, you have to go through it, caught with your pants down, and that's exactly what happened with Redox.
Well, speaking about Redox, I see Redox has another teammate that we didn't see yesterday, but has joined today, and that's Koa.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Koa is in the mix, so, I mean, Koa could maybe look to play, you know, to contest for those MVP slots as well. Anybody out of our 64 players in this game could have their swing at it. Only a few will be able to accomplish that. But who it will be, we'll find out at the end of the day. That is why we are here. Well, that's part of it. As we can see, of course, it is a serious case of repositioning coming in across the board here. We do see Roflo and the rest of the team also just positioned on that eastern edge of zone. Actually, I think that's a pretty decent position to hold for the time being, as we see quite a few teams already starting to rotate right up alongside them. So, fortunately here for the Romanian Evolution, they don't have to evolve their rotational pathway, right? They can just continue flowing forward. I can't necessarily say the same for the teams that are yet to move in, Max.
I caught like half of your sentence. I didn't kind of glitched out on Discord. So normally I would pick up what you said and talk about it. I just heard Romanian Evolution, and that's all I got. But yeah, Romanian Evolution, DK, moving up here. They already got 4 eliminations into the entry point. As now over to Team Rain again. They did lose 2 players, but they got recalled a little bit early on in this match, and now they recalled their full team, not just a duo. And they will be winning that fight in this little tower for themselves. GG, well played. But that's not going to be over. That's not going to be the end of this one, as we are going to be having a squad slowly encroaching on their terrain. It's going to be Rozavlia looking for a piece of the cake. We'll see if they can try and secure it for themselves, as Onback V2 also going to be somewhat neighbors with Romanian Evolution, so that's going to be a lot of coexisting happening at this point of the game, which makes sense. Rondo, typically these compounds have such a weird layout where you can actually have 2 teams coexist in one main compound, but that's until the circle shifts away, so they can work together. There's a peace treaty in place now. Will that be the case in a circle or two? Only the circle gods know at this point.
Yeah, no, that's very accurate. I can't argue that point, so we'll leave it right there. Well done, Max. Anyway, as we move on, we are going to be hopping onto V2. I'm still curious as to where, as you asked yesterday, where's V1 and all of those. But yeah, on back V2, getting on back into the action as they are preparing to get a bit of a jump here onto the Romanian Evolution squad. I mean, Romanian Evolution, they've been doing pretty decent so far this match, right? 4 eliminations up. They still have the full party in this mix. So let's see, can they hold strong? Can they get the jump here? Because on back, they need to get those points, right? They've not yet found any eliminations throughout this match, and we are quite a few minutes deep already, just about to hit 13 minutes in.
Especially on a Rondo, not getting a lot of eliminations is always going to be a bit of a painful turn of events, because that's where teams can really start to create a really, really big lead, and you're going to be able to, well, unfortunately not be able to, but fall behind massively in case of teams able to get himself like double digit. I was going to say triple digits eliminations. That's not quite possible. At least I've never witnessed it yet. Technically, on paper, it is possible in Rondo, but I don't think that's ever going to be happening. Alliance, though, taking casualties to the hands of, well, mainly Doran, it seems, from the Vicious. This guy popping off, also MVP contender, possibly, depending on how this second day goes for him. And Team Rain, now Grodex, one of the big heavy hitters. MVP contender is out, and that's going to be, seems like, the entirety of Team Rain, except for Christian, just running for his life. But he already recalled 2 of his teammates, DK, earlier, right? So I think that they can bring back 1, maybe 2, if he was one of the players that got eliminated earlier. But otherwise, there's no way they can get back as a full squad. So no matter what happens from here on out, Team Rain will not be playing as a full team.
That's a bit of a tough one to be in, but, you know, that's just the way the Battle Royales work out, right? You got to do what you got to do. But let's see who's going to be able to hop on out and hop on in as Wave gets ready to pop up onto the roof, looking for a little bit more of an elevated position. But the nice thing I like about the elevation, Max, is it really gets you to step on up, right? So it really moves you along in that regard. But Bando, one of our contenders for a potential play at that MVP, could also be looking to make a bit of an upset here. I mean, Baban has already been able to secure 13 eliminations in yesterday's performances so far, sitting on a donut, but that could change at any point as soon as they step out of the bakery.
I would not recommend sitting on a donut, though. That becomes a crepe, and that's a French specialty, and that's cultural appropriation. You can't do that. That's ours. We love the crepes and the galettes. Oh, real good. We should have a French-inspired map with bakeries all over the place. Again, I'm describing Livik. I remember. Going back to day 1 of the Romanian edition. I don't know. Okay.
You're going to be fighting with baguettes.
That was actually a weapon in the game for a bit. There was a game mode where you would fight with baguettes in melee range. Yeah, that was interesting. I had to drop a French laugh. That was an interesting moment in PUBG Mobile esports history. Well, not esports, PUBG Mobile history, should I say.
Yeah.
Cool replays here of Team Rain, as they did lose a lot of their players, unfortunately, after that fight. But you know what? They still have Christian. For how long, though? I'm not feeling too confident. He does get himself a nice elimination with the S4K. So Team Rain up to currently 3 eliminations. And they're still very far from getting placement points, right? I mean, you still have 15 teams alive. You need to make it to top 8 to just even get a single placement point. So I think that here Team Rain will have to take the L on this match. And actually losing out on Rondo when you have Big Baby, 4 eliminations, down to 2 players. But then you have Vicious get 5 eliminations. That lead is just going to keep going up and up and up. As here we go now over to the side of Dennis, Rexo, and company. Inside the shed, that grenade could actually be huge for Keystone if he cooked it right, and it seems like he does. That elimination is now confirmed. 4 eliminations to their name. And the rest of the team not committing. NASA doing a big fumble on that push, it seems, DK, and just giving an opportunity for BLL not only to get those eliminations, but also to go for the full reset.
You know what's crazy, Max? We've seen 45 eliminations already, right? That's if you add up all those numbers on the side of the screen. And we still have 14 teams alive. Right, it feels like, at least in the perspective of the players, like they've been fighting for so long, and it's just not ending. This fight just keeps on going and going. But that's what we love to see, is so many opportunities for teams to really capitalize on all the available eliminations. But now it's going to be a pretty tough position here for the 4 Warriors. They have found themselves at 1 elimination, and they have a decent setup, I would say, over towards the far southern edge of zone. It is going to be a rather difficult one to move on forward, as Kemi and Black experiences that firsthand as they move in and they get absolutely just ripped out of their vehicles. 2 players now remain here for EBL, but can Vicious get the jump in on them, or can we see EBL maybe potentially somehow miraculously survive this?
Well, I don't know for how long. Currently they're running away, so they're trying to survive. Black is going to be punched out to death by Doran. Again, MVP contender. The guy could do it all. Vicious still got the entire squad. Don't even need their main roster of yesterday, right? They got 1 player that was swapped out, indeed, as you said earlier, DK. So, always good to see some new players show their faces in these always-on tournaments. And by the way, by monthly finals, we mean this is going to be happening every month. Can you imagine that, DK? PUBG Mobile esports action for Poland and Romania every month? No way,
Wow.
Jose. That's crazy.
Wow. No way. But the player that you were talking about that got swapped out with for today was Icy, right? Icy got put back in the fridge. Maybe started thawing a little bit, right? Just gotta make sure that you know, stays as accurate as possible. So very exciting, as you said, to see those rotations come through. But speaking about rotations, though, we're gonna have to see a little bit more of that continue to be the name of the game here, as the Doritos are getting deployed. We do have some nice mobile coverage coming out. I remember the days when that used to be vehicles, Max. You just move a car in, you blow it up, and then boom, you've got some cover.
Those were different days. Now we have the Doritos carrying everyone to success. The Vicious, though, they're going to be trying to drive themselves to success. Getting in the car, mainly 3 players. 1 player playing back end, trying to create a little bit of cover fire for his teammates, which is a decently solid strat here. But how far can they realistically go? The car's taking so much damage, but they now made it over to some of the players. And now Vicious in the open, swapping on over to their main weapons, trying their best to protect their position. And Koa will do just that. Nice elimination. Now going to be jumping up even higher, up to 4 after confirming it. And there you have it. Wait, you didn't confirm it? Okay, well, I thought he got it for a second there, but apparently got debated. But that's fine. Vicious made the cross happen. A lot of emergency cover flares are going to be falling down from the skies, from the heavens. As Rosmalea not going to be interested whatsoever in this engagement, and they want to get the hell out of Dodge, it seems.
Well, that's sometimes the only option that you have. So let's see whether or not Rosmalea can get out of this one. Novello is going to start moving up as well, but just moving a little bit further down towards that western side. The rest of the Vicious right there on the front line. I like what Big Baby is doing as well. Also just contributing a little bit to the carnage coming through from that slightly more southern position. It does seem like there is a ridge that is making it a little bit more challenging. So this is where Doska now has the opportunity to get themselves in a little bit of a stronger position. It's funny to see Don, though, not having done any eliminations just yet, but that could change very soon, as Rosa is already up to 10 eliminations. And this is a pretty strong play that they've been having so far here.
Yeah, Donna is waiting to fight in a 1v4 situation in the Miramar warehouse. That's what he's waiting for. He did it yesterday. He did post it on Instagram, by the way, so guys, go follow him. I believe his full Instagram name is Donna, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure to follow his content. So far, 0 eliminations to his name, 3 eliminations for Dennis. Tosca's got 3, and Zeus got himself 4. So far, the kill disparity is a little bit off for Don, but that's fine. We believe he can bring the numbers eventually throughout the entirety of today. Navallo, final player to make the crossing in the play zone, and I don't think Rosavlia wants to let that happen for free at least. Everyone's trying to be a bit of a hindrance. He makes it into the smoke, but yet that's an easy spray down with the orb from Zeus, and Navallo will be instantly sent to the grave. Doran also next to follow in the footsteps of his teammate. Oh my goodness, they're getting picked off so easily here. It seems this is an easy fight for Rosavlia, looking for the final player. He's on his left, right behind one of these pyramids, and he's going to be, unfortunately, completely surrounded. Rosavlia, a flawless fight that just seemed like a knife right through butter, DK. This was flawless.
Yeah, I mean, Galamia, very impressed on that. That was an absolute amazing showing. And I mean, they've got the elimination count to support that, right? 13 elims up. Wow, pretty aggressive. I mean, if they keep going like this, we could see a nice change coming through with regards to those overall rankings. But for the time being, we still have to get all the way to that late stage of the game. We still have quite a few teams remaining here, so it's not going to be easy by any measure. It does seem like they are up for challenge. Ooh, it's beautiful hits coming through there from Team Moldova. The Og keeps on doing its things. So good. Quick look back at what happened to Doran and the rest of the Vicious here. As we said, Rosa playing a very strong match here today.
Very strong indeed. Oh, I'm loving these replays of Rosavlia versus the Vicious. So smooth. So buttery smooth in that engagement. Here on back V2. Finally, we said they were neighbors, right? Versus the Romanian Revolution, but that was going to be ending eventually. Now on back V2, down to 2 players. And down to now just a solo. It's going to be Blanco trying to hold on strong, trying to carry the weight of his team on his back for this fight in particular. Through the window, he's got himself a good angle. One jump shot could be huge, but he's going to be committing to the first aid kit instead. And no utility, only 1 smoke. Nothing to really play around this time around. Trying to flush an enemy, but it doesn't quite connect with the S12K with a silence on it. He's now trying to play rung around the rosy, trying to find himself a different entry point, and he gets completely shot in the side. And that is going to be game over for them. Romanian Evolution will be surviving as a trio in this compound.
I mean, great off-angle play coming through there from Team Moldova, playing the major upset in that little run around the block. But with that, of course, Max, we are down to our final 9 or 8 teams, right? It helps if I read the right
Placement
numbers.
points.
But now it is going to be first one Romania. Very centered up in zone. Decent position to be. But can they now make this magic work? They've got the 4 warriors right there over towards their southern side. Slash maybe partially a little bit of contention coming through on that east. Nothing too crazy to worry about, but always something that you have to keep a bit of an eye on. A little bit of that loot share happening as well. But I'm going to be looking up in towards this northwestern side, right? To see what EBL and Big Baby is going to be doing over here.
What are they going to be doing? Yeah, Big Baby. 2 players in their compound, and that's all that's going to be remaining of this squad. And the bunny just in a bush pulling a Ryzen. Hopefully will not be spotted too soon. Yep, there you go. It's POV. 3 grenades. We keep talking about it, DK. We've seen it so many times in these always-on tournaments. A player in a bush. You stay put. You don't give your position away. You play with grenades, which does not reveal your location too quickly. And that could be a way to kind of subvert expectation versus Rosav Leia. Just need to make sure you hold on to it. Do not waste it, or otherwise your cover shall be completely demolished. As for Warriors Esport finally making it into the very late game stage here, DK. They kept going out super early yesterday, it seems like, especially on Erangel. But no, then the final few circles. Stage 7 for Warriors. Could the chicken dinner be happening on the first game of today?
Take a screenshot, Max. Take a screenshot. Let's see what's going on unfold. It is going to be Team Moldova now finding themselves smack dab center. So, again, it does seem like Rosa is starting to bring a little bit more spice to the battlefield here. But are they going to be able to find Nebuni right there alongside them? I mean, Dennis and the rest of the crew trying to do everything they can. I'm curious whether or not Don has actually been able to find any of those eliminations. Ooh, there's the first one. Well done, Don. As the grenades now rain on down. Baban getting taken on down. Christian is going to be falling. Hey, well, hang on. We've got 2 Christians in here as well, Max.
Oh, yeah?
We did see one for Rain, and now one there for 4 Warriors. Ooh, so
I think
multiple
we also
teams.
We have 2 Dennis players too, right? Or am I mistaken on that?
If we do, I've not seen it yet, and I'll take a gander.
Well, we'll have to see. Oddities. Brothers, Luxy and Zuxy. But in Romania? Question mark. Here we go, though, for Warriors. Looking to make their move. Scouting with the buggy. Kaneki. Oh, they've been spotted. Be careful. Got to jump on down. Will get knocked. The car's about to explode if it takes a little bit more damage. Can't really... Oh, he can't even leave. He can't leave. If the car explodes, he's done. He's completely stuck. I think, yeah, they know exactly. They have the advantage. He's going to be moving that one singular buggy, but will it be enough to make sure their teammate comes back to life? Sheriff also going to be picked off, and that's going to be pretty much an instant flush. Christian, one of the Christians here, still alive and kicking, but making that cross over the road downhill, I think, is going to be pretty much impossible, as he has 6 grenades, 1 Molotov, no more smokes to make the transition happen. 4 Warriors, I think this is going to be game over, but he does have a cover flare if he survives, which he does not.
Yeah, here's one of the Dennises as well, right? Yes, we do have 2 as well. The other one is in BLL. Well spotted, Max. But let's see what this Dennis is going to do. Will we have even more chaos now rolling on through? It is going to be Nebuni still just chilling up in the bush. Not going to be setting up an ambush just yet. But the zone is going to get ready to pop as well. Stage number 8 is about to hit. And where does it take us? Ooh, further over to the west. So now it is going to look quite challenging, especially for that one squad that we have situated all the way over to that far eastern side. Of course, that being the first one, Romania, that now needs to move on in. But where are they going to go? Because there's only so much space left in the zone.
Romanian Evolution. Going to have to make that evolved rotation forward. But how do you do it without cars? That's the way. If they maybe they have some cars, they're just very well hidden. I did not see any cars right now, and they're going to be engulfed in the blue very soon anyways. Does he have one on the corner? Not here. Maybe behind the wall. Oh, I'm hearing these cover flares coming out, so I guess they do not have any vehicles anymore, so they have to go by foot, which is going to be an excruciatingly hard thing to execute. But they're just chucking everything in a kitchen sink at this point to make that work in their favor. Smokes comboed up with the cover flares. Couldn't ask for a better way to make these small moves forward. And I believe it will be enough to get them in the play zone, but it's still going to be on the roadside, which makes them very vulnerable to possible grenades, molotovs, or even just off angles, which that is going to actually cause them to lose one player here as he jumps out the window. And Rosavlea want to make sure they eliminate this off angle, because if Rosavlea win this fight, in my opinion, DK, for them, this should be an easy cleanup for the first chicken dinner of today.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with you on that. Already they've got 17 eliminations secured. They are on an absolute rampage as they now just bringing Tosca back into this match. Now it is going to be the Romanian Evolution team facing quite a bit of a challenge here. I mean, not only do they have still a bit of ground to cover, but they are being absolutely pressured on the outskirts of the zone. Meanwhile, first one, Romania starting to advance slowly but steadily. Can they get position they need to strike on through? I mean, there could be a few easy pickups here as well, but you still got to watch out for Team Moldova that is holding right in center zone yet again. Sansanic has been quite a menace from what we've seen so far. I almost called them something else. I don't know what else, but
Sandwich.
it would have been something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Sandwich.
My favorite player, Sandwich. Oh, so cool, so strong. Here we go, though, Retro. With the org, only one. Hey, come on, bro, you got a Molotov. Okay, he was right. You got a Molotov. This is easy. He's right behind the tree. Oh, doesn't use it. You know what? They're still going to go out to the blue zone. I was like, bro, you could have got that elimination like 10 decades ago. But no, Retro is going to be getting it the old-fashioned way with the good old blue zone as it pushes them forward right into their loving, loving arms. The entirety of Rosavlea now going to be taking the fight. It's going to be down to them and Team Moldova. Who's going to be taking home the chicken dinner of day number 2 to kick off things? Molotov, here we go. The Molotov does come out eventually. Unfortunately, it will not be quite on top of Rosavlea players, but they are going to be looking to claim the lives of their survivors, as that's going to be already Don taking up some really good fights earlier, and now he's breached the compound. He's inside the hen house. Down to Watch Me, and also Sansanish. There you go. I got it also, DK. We got there eventually. So now the duo 2v2 scenario will definitely not get the revive onto Retro, I believe, unless they give him some time, which I don't think Rosavlea should grant them to begin with. As now he's engaging, pushing over. The counter side will be playing around with the S12K, and they are pulling off that res. Retro, I think, is going to be brought back in this game, which I really did not expect to happen. But Rosavlea just gave them that breathing space, and now it's going to be down to the 1v1. Don off to an amazing start with Zeus, and here we go, swarming the enemy. Team Moldova taking so much damage, down to now just a solo. The 1v1 is happening. Zeus jumping over, but he goes wide in the blue zone and gives the chicken dinner to Rosavlea. Match 1 in Rondo. The MVP of this game is definitely Papa Blue. Oh my, that was an unexpected ending to that game.
Yeah, but also we might have potentially our first 20 elimination Rondo game.
Yes.
Win a chicken dinner. That might potentially have happened just now. Of course, we don't know. We'll have to find out once we get into those leaderboards, but an absolutely insane showing. I mean, what a showdown. What a step up, right? What a day 2 coming through from Rosavlea. I mean, insane performance. Like, where were they in day 1? Well, I mean, they were there. Don was going crazy, but Dennis stepped up and they contributed. Sky contributed. Zeus contributed. The whole team brought so much aggression to the forefront here.
Yes, I'm looking at their points of day 1. They had 36 points total, which was not bad. Day 1 is over the course of 5 matches. That's very good. But if they did get that 20 elimination bomb chicken dinner here, DK, that means they pretty much doubled their points in 1 game alone, which is would be wild. And you know what? Let's check it out. Let's see the leaderboard, see exactly how many points Rosavlea currently have. And they are going to be standing tall, standing proud with a total of 64 points. Oh my goodness, DK jumping from 36 up to 64 in 1 game is ludicrous.
Yeah, that is that's a jump indeed. That is quite the jump. I mean, they went from 28 eliminations to 46. So, yeah, that is a very heavy hand coming through on there and absolutely phenomenal. But that is exactly what we'd love to see, right? They went from having a little bit of a gap there, right? Starting the match or starting the day all the way in 6th place. Now they are tied with Team Rain. So a phenomenal performance coming in there from them. And I hope to see this from even more teams as we have still quite a few more to go, Max.
Yep, indeed. We're going to have quite a few more to go. 4 more matches. 2 Erangels, 2 Miramars are going to be on the menu, so you better get nicely seated because it's going to be a great bunch of matches coming your way. And yeah, especially it's cool seeing the Vicious go out early. Not because I don't like them or anything, but it's just cool to see some closer competition in these rankings, DK. So I'm very, very excited to see who will be able to maybe overtake their position and hold the mantle of a first place team. Very excited. Again, we're going to have 2 Erangels and 2 Miramars. So if you guys want to check that out, be right back in just a few short minutes because that's coming up very soon.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başına geçiyorum.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Tahmini de aldım dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başına geçiyorum.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Tahmini de aldım dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başına geçiyorum.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Tahmini de aldım dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're getting ready to head into game number next. The first one of the day is done. The final day of action. We did see Rosa Flia come through with a beautiful performance, hitting 18 eliminations, almost cracking the 20 elim game of on Rondo. But Max, next up, we are heading into the bread and butter of PUBG. A little bit of that Erangel action with a double serving of it, in fact, coming through to see who's going to be the ones to step up, right? You were asking to see whether or not anybody is going to respond to the side there of the Vicious. Based on what we saw in the first match, I hope that we could be seeing quite a bit of a response coming through from the lobby here.
Well, let's not forget, DK. Day one, the two Erangels were won by the Vicious, right? So currently they're the undisputed Grassy Pastures Kings. They won every single map on that map. And I think that they can keep on winning over there. They just know that map like the back of their hand. So I think they are going to be very, very oppressive in these matches coming up. But yeah, as you said, we've also seen in game one some very interesting comebacks from some teams. I mean, Rosaflea have been looking fantastic in that game. Very happy with it. Even teams like Romanian Evolution had some really good game plans. I love their fight versus the side of On-Back V2. Very interesting engagement. So there's hope lingering in the distance, right, for these teams to maybe overtake the Vicious. But Erangel is, if anything, is going to be the hardest map to make it happen. But if it does happen, DK, that means there is definitely that potential for some of these players, some of these teams to make their dreams come reality here in the Always On Romanian monthly final season, numero uno. So I'm very, very hyped to see how the first one's going to go. And hopefully, this is just like a pipe dream. I'm hoping we do have a military island finish because we haven't had any during the entire Polish edition. We didn't have any yesterday. Give me one at least. I want to see teams being tested a little bit because 4 mainland finishes, they're fun. But at some point, I want something just a little bit different, you know?
I'm wondering whether or not we could maybe be getting that, right? I mean, it'd be quite exciting if that was the play because, I mean, we've not really seen these teams really doing anything too much with regards to the bridges heading down in towards that military island itself either. So if it was to go there, I think we could be in for quite a bit of a ride. Do you think, though, the Vicious have a tactic, have a position to try and kind of fight against the zone moving in that direction? Because, well, from what we've seen in the previous two Erangels is, I don't know if that was quite indicative of a potential bridge play.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're just going to play their own game, which, well, again, they're international players, right? They're top tier level, they're S+ tier level. So I think they're just quite confident in their own way of playing the game. So I think they're just going to stick to it and hope for these chicken dinners to start rolling in. So I'm not expecting any big changes coming out from the Vicious. Are we going to be seeing any changes, for example, from Team Rain, right? That went for a very early Rondo fight. They lost 2 players very early, went for the recall, lost players again, down to just Christian. He got picked off as a solo. It seemed very disorganized, unlike what we did witness yesterday, especially on those Miramar matches. So I think Team Rain needs to pick themselves back up because so far it's been a little bit of a slower start on day 2. And I think Erangel, if there's any map you want to make it happen, it would be the map for Team Rain, just to stick it to the Vicious. So Team Rain, they're going to be my main focal point this game to see if they can try and build themselves back up after that rougher game 1.
I mean, but it's not too far from what we've seen in the first day coming through for Team Rain, right? A pretty consistent kind of performance that we had there. I mean, yesterday, yes, they were able to secure themselves a placement point, meaning that they at least went out somewhere within the top 8. So, yeah, it is slightly a little bit more aggressive, I'd say, compared to what we've seen from them. But it is the final day, right? You've got to try a few different tactics if you're not too happy with what your point situation is, right? Because as we know, the quickest way to add points is by eliminations, hopefully not by becoming those eliminations. So, yeah, the teams just have to bring it all in. But, of course, we are getting ourselves ready to head over onto Erangel to see whether or not the first serving of Erangel is going to deliver us with a little bit of that melee base. When last did you see a military base play actually coming in?
I mean, last year, literally, no joke.
Wow.
It's been literally like PMGC. Last time I've covered a military island game. So you haven't had any of this tournament so far. So yeah, it's last year, literally. I mean, they're always fun to see, and especially it's fun to see Alpha Gaming play them because they're like the kings of these type of circles.
Yeah.
No Alpha Gaming in this lobby, luckily enough. Otherwise, it would be a completely different ball game. It would be them and the Vicious popping off, I'm telling you. But No, it's good to see, and especially if we do have a military island finish, I would love to see how the bridge situation happens. Are we going to have any teams looking to gatekeep, to just feed themselves a ton of eliminations? Are we going to see teams just rushing to get to the other side? Or are we just going to see teams trying to, you know, just avoid the bridge situation altogether and just say, I don't want to be involved in that conversation? Could be a possibility.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Well, I guess there's only one way for us to find out. We're going to have to get right down to business, as we are going to be starting up in the north, heading right over Everest. Now, we have seen quite a few of those Everest potential plays coming through here, but are we going to have that melee base action being the name of the game? Big question for me, though, is going to be what is going to happen with Severny, because it is very accessible at this point. But as we saw yesterday, it turns into a very odd location once the teams actually make contact with it.
This fight is starting to make me hate Severny, and I used to like it, DK. I was a big fan. I was a big fan of Severny. I used to drop there even on occasion, but it's not that good a drop location. It's edge. The car spawns can be decent, but oftentimes you might have to just walk a little bit away to actually get a decent car for yourself. Especially you got to go to the garage down south on the road trifecta. So if you want to get the car you really want, that's where you typically have to go. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just not worth it. And now you have always that 3 teams. You got BLL. You have 2 other teams. I can't read their names right now because I can't zoom in. And even if I could, it would probably be a little bit pixelated for me. So yeah, in my opinion, not worth it. I mean, do you think it's worth it, DK, just to get that out of the way? What do you think?
Not for a hard drop. No.
Thank you.
There's far better locations to go. I mean, Chinky comes to mind. Gatka comes to mind. The container yard comes to mind, right? There are so many other options, especially along this particular flight path that we saw that the teams could have opted for. But you know what? They do what they do because, well, they're here competing. And we're just commenting on what they're doing. But speaking about which, though, is a little bit of that NASA on NASA action as Hugo Boss is going to get popped right on out there. Salam coming through with a quick cheeky spray down. But will they be able to get even more? As it does seem like NASA, at least the one that's lost the player, is going to try and condense that play. In the meanwhile, it is going to be, I think, NASA Extreme. Yeah, they are starting to push up from that southern side. So we have BLL alongside, well, NASA Extreme. And then I believe it is the Romanian squad on the opposite end over towards the western front. But they are disengaging back. So we only have 2 teams now fighting for possession of Severny.
Yep, NASA currently on land, hoping to get into the stratosphere very soon, and so far that 1 point is definitely getting them a little bit higher to those heights. Though over to the side of Rozok, it seems we are going to be having a little bit of a clash. We had EBL taking some shots versus the other NASA that currently is definitely going to be ground level. No eliminations for them just yet. Wait, am I lying, or do they have some elimination? Wait, because when I look at the... No, they do. The 2 NASAs have a point each. Okay, so I was like, wait a minute. This is... Okay, you know what, guys? Recommendation. If you want to be... If you're an aspiring, PUBG Mobile Esport Pro player, you want to, like... You're with your boys, like, let's make a team. Try and have, like, a different team name from, like, maybe with some of the big orgs or teams that are playing in the tournament right now, because, as a caster, I hate it.
Because we have NASA Esports, NASA Gaming, and NASA Extreme.
It's even worse.
On the board. Yeah. A triple serving of NASA.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I want to be a pro player. I'm going to call myself Top. And it's like, well,
yes.
But you're never going to be bigger than Top. I'm sorry.
But you might reach the top.
No, not those height. No, sorry, you won't. No, the odds of that happening are 0.000, keeps on going, 0.1. It's,
yeah.
Call yourself, I don't know. I don't know a player that's called Charlie Brown. That would be cool. Call yourself Charlie Brown. There you go.
Yeah.
You're the only Charlie Brown in PUBG Mobile Esports. Easy. Done. I don't know why Charlie Brown came to mind. That was just very random. I like Snoopy. He's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to say, then you have to have somebody called Snoopy on the team as well.
You do?
Yeah. It's just like, it goes together.
Actually, DK, if you could create... Because now this early fight in Severny's done, so we have a bit of breathing space to talk about random topics, which we love to do on these tournaments. Always a fun time. If you could make any team with a theme, like all the 4 players have to have a name in coordination with the team name, what would you do?
I'd be trolling, so I'd obviously go for one of 2 names. It's either, what's it called? Or, man, I can't remember. Those would be the names.
Nice. Good start.
Yeah. That would be the team name, right? So the first one is, what's it called? And the other one's like, I can't remember. Right? So that's the team name. And then the players' names would be something that goes with that. Like, words, something along that line. Like, I would just be rolling on the floor laughing every time when I see that. That's like big entertainment for me right there.
I don't know. I was expecting a theme, but you kind of took it in a completely different direction than what I was initially expecting. So
yeah,
count on DK, guys, if you want him to take you in a different direction than most people would usually take you. So yeah, thank you.
And the funny thing is, I've actually done that, right? So in other games that I play as well, so where you have like a clan name or whatever name or team name or something, that's exactly what the name is. It's what's it called? That's exactly what the name is.
Beautiful. At least you are consistent.
Yes.
I will give you that. Yeah.
And yourself, Max, what theme would you go for?
I was waiting. Yes. So as an absolute huge One Piece fan, I'm going to call it the Straw Hat Crew, and you're going to have Zoro, Luffy. You're going to have, of course, Nami and Sanji. There you go. Nice. That's my team. And the analyst would be called Usopp, because that would be cool. There you go. Yeah. The big weed team. Oh, lovely.
This is one of those instances where I actually know what you're talking about. When you talk about anime. Yeah.
Quite rare.
I know who you named, Max. Wow.
DK is there down with the kids talking about some anime. Let's go. He's up in the big 2026. We need to believe.
But yeah, speaking of which, though, it's going to be Alliance trying to align themselves with the blue here. I mean, they have the same colored name tag thingy on them. So the team color is very matching at this point. But can they find black, as that's also quite matching as the Vicious do exactly as their name suggests here. Redox coming through with a quick reaction. I like a little bit of a bridge cap. We were talking about the bridges, Max. Here we have them. We are yet to see whether or not this next phase, in a minute and a bit of change, is going to go down south, or might it maybe pull up north?
Knowing my luck, it's not going to be happening. We'll have to see, unfortunately, how things go. Icy then still not playing for the squad. It's still Narvalo, Doran, Redox, and Coat77. So Icy, he's on the bench. He's on the bench. The man.
You got put on ice.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. You could theoretically say that and not go to jail. I wish you would, but you could say that legally and be okay and get away with it. But yeah, now looking at the side of Team Moldova that popped off last game, second place, are going to now look in the way of NASA and Team Rain. They are just, I don't think they were invited to be a part of this fight, but they're here for some reason. They're going for a wide eastern rotation, currently making it almost over to the northern edge of the Yasnaya Poliana. But how far are they going to be going? Are they coming back to engage, or are they looking for an off angle, or are they just looking to make it in the circle? For me, this rotation of Team Rain just makes no sense, and I think they understood too. This is a bit of a waste of time. Let's get the hell out of Dodge, though. Looking over to the rest of the team. Team Moldova and NASA are going to be clashing. Laser holding off two players as a solo B. Shall get surrounded eventually, and watch me, Nomi's brother is looking to claim that life for himself.
Well, speaking of my brothers, it is going to be NASA holding on with a solo, as we can see just off in the distance there. And that, of course, being NASA Extreme, who's found themselves one elimination, but it is now going to be a pretty tough hurdle to overcome, as that health bar is not looking too great. Got to commend the effort, though, but unfortunately, it's going to be Style getting taken out in a very effortless fashion here, as we continue to move through now, hopping back over to Farm. As you can see, EBL and Vicious being neighbors here, Max, very close to each other, all things considered. But it is going to be Farm that will be smack dab center zone, at least for the time being.
Yeah, it's going to be on the water. It could still technically go down to Military Island, Sunlufka Island, but I'm really not expecting it. But here we go. The audience can actually see the map feed. I don't think it's going to go down there. But yeah, that 2-2 split from Vicious is a bit risky. You're starting to see some teams. You've got EBL. You're going to be having on-back V2 getting in between these 2-2 splits. The moment they have to regroup, it's going to be a really, really tough task at hand. So now that they see teams regrouping, are they going to try and regroup themselves before it becomes a major issue later on down the line? Or are they going to just stick to it because they're Vicious, they're built different, they know they can pull off any play in the book in this kind of lobby? We'll have to see how confident they're going to be looking, though. Rain in Evolution up to their first elimination over to Robbie. Off to a decently smooth start here.
Well, speaking about smooth, what are your thoughts on that, the two-tone? It's like chocolate and licorice coming through there. Of course, he missed the first early fights of the game. Here we have Salam going at it right then and there. Let's see what Doran is going to be doing, as Doran is going to be popping off as the rest of the lobby now starts to move on forward. That does seem like it's NASA looking to get themselves a little bit closer into that zone. Doran keeping the pressure up. On back, also taking a very southern rotation. Rosa, though, in the meantime, all the way down in the southern container yard, right here in Novorepnoya. But they do have a little bit of company there, right? The 4 warriors trying to move on up. Can they find that position? Can they find the angles? Or is Rosa going to try and just leverage the living goodness against them before they rotate up?
I would say not worth it, personally. Rosa Flea. You might get 4 warriors. I think you're taking a risk more than anything. Maybe just coexist on the island together would be more than enough. Big Baby also looking to clean up farm. And they're farming up eliminations so far. 2 for Stress, and Exo getting himself his single elimination so far. So yeah, decent start for these teams. Definitely a slow start outside of the hot drop, but otherwise it's been pretty chill for these guys. We did see, by the way, Vicious in the elimination feed gave himself a few eliminations on back V2. So despite the 2-2 split, clearly this is not a major issue for them. They're still popping off, still as confident as ever. So you've got to make sure to believe in the guys because they are confident in themselves. As Team Rain, after that weird rotation next to Severny earlier, are finally in the play zone. Will they be able to survive an encounter with Team Moldova that are also constantly fighting from the early to the mid-game stage of this match? And now,
I mean, yesterday...
oh, he's running. He's leaving.
I mean, I was going to say that yesterday, Team Moldova at this point was sitting with a very strong elimination count, but they also made that interesting rotation all the way up into Severny. Today, at least... they're looking to go for a completely different approach here. And you were talking about Rain managing to get themselves situated back in towards that zone. But I think it's a little bit short-lived because, again, they are going to be feeling quite a bit of pressure being applied to them here, Max.
Definitely going to be quite pressured. I'm looking at the map feed right now. 4 warriors are just wrapping around Rosaflea in Novoripnoye. So it is a bit of a dicey situation for Rosaflea. I think they got somewhat outplayed. You know what, I'm going to take that back. Not somewhat. They got completely outplayed in that moment. Very good leapfrog for 4 warriors. Love to see that in a map feed hopefully very soon so you guys can have a good idea of what the hell is happening over there. But over to NASA here, getting completely eradicated off the map by Team Moldova. That, again, 6 eliminations on an Erangel game at this point in time is definitely a bit of a speed run. And they are going to keep on popping off this game. Lovely gameplay here as we shift on over to Milta that currently holds 4 teams, DK. Things are going to get a bit hectic on the east.
But what I would love to see for Team Moldova here is for them to bring that placement point game in as well, right? To make it into those late stages of the game. Because, I mean, they've proven that they can be super aggressive when it comes to the map of Erangel. But they've not been able to secure enough consistency with those placement points just yet. So they are currently, trailing with 40 points behind the Vicious that we see just snugly holding onto the top of that leaderboard. So let's see how this one is going to pan out. I like the fact that the rest of the lobby is pretty mobile, right? Nobody is necessarily playing edge and nobody's necessarily playing center. It's a little bit of a distribution between all of those.
As you have NASA just peeking from the windows. Trying to get some intel, trying to see what's happening over the bridge, because the bridge side is where things are going to get a little bit interesting in the very near future. Flare 4 warriors thinking of making a move over to Team Moldova though. Oh, there you go, map feed, perfect, just to see exactly what's happening, just to demonstrate where the teams are currently positioned. Yeah, Team Moldova looking to go for the breach. So far, holding strong, 7 eliminations, you can see on the main feed. 4 over to Retro. They should be able to get himself that res onto Cause. This Big Baby in a distance, hearing this fight happening, not even interested in a potential third party. Like, yep, no, that was too clean of a fight. Let's run away. And Rosa Flare do have 1 hovercraft that we saw for a split second there under the bridge. That hovercraft in a possible open-ended finish could have massive consequences in their favor.
I mean, this is where it stings a little bit to be the full Warriors, because they committed fully to that southern position, and now they're going to have to swim their way back. But there is going to be quite a bit of a challenge ahead for them, because the blue is going to start closing up very soon, and they also then, if they push up straight from the south, are going to find them just pulling up on the Vicious here, as we can see already, getting right down to business as Rosa has rolled up to them. Dennis getting dropped on down and confirmed. Down to a 3-piece they go. So let's see whether or not Don, Zeus, and Tosca can maybe avenge their teammate. It is going to be a pretty tall order, but, well, maybe they have it in the bag.
Maybe. Vicious, though, instantly able to find himself one player, and that's going to be huge. And Koaz being the sneaky devil as he is. Molotovs thrown upstairs in the attic. But if he gets even further, if he's able to jump out through the other side, through the window, this is game over. That is going to be the Vicious just completely surrounding the entirety of Rosaflea. Though Redox is going to be a casualty right now, currently in knocked state. Can be brought back to life, possibly by Doran behind that wall. But you've got to be quick with it. You've got to be very, very snappy. The Vicious got to have a quick response if they want to make sure Rosaflea are not going to be fighting them for too much longer. But the response has slowed down significantly. I think that knock has really halted the entire approach onto Rosaflea. One player is going to be inside. I don't know if they're going to try and repair it. If they do have one of those repair kits, and try and leave, or if they are fully committed to the fight. And by the way, the position Rosaflea are currently in is very hard to grenade easily. So we'll see how things are going to go. I think this is just at this point a waste of utility from Vicious. Is all you fully commit and push it, or you just coexist. And right now, they're kind of hesitant and wasting a lot of these grenades and Molotovs.
I mean, big ups going out to Rosaflea here for making it so challenging. But can they sustain that? That is going to be the big question. Of course, we'll find out pretty soon, as it is going to be the Vicious now trying to clear out each building one at a time. I think they've pretty much narrowed down as to where Rosaflea could be positioned. So you can see Koa going up top, Navalo going downstairs, and for Rodox also now bringing in a bit of a fortification right there on the corner. A very risky angle here, but we do see Koa getting picked up by Tosca. Tosca, though, paying quite a bit of a price here, taking a very big chunk of damage, but that molly now raining down on Zeus. It is going to be quite a bit of an issue, but the Don coming out with the grenades yet again. Two players now for the Vicious left up on their feet. Can they pull it together? Can we see them get the jump here on Rosaflea? Or could this be the Fleas wiping the Vicious off the map?
Oh, big baby. Exo gets the off-angle surprise. And Vicious now given an ample opportunity to fully revive themselves. The grenade, though, confirms Novalo, knocks Redox. Koa still low HP, will get themselves up back to 75% HP. But Doran, that's the turnaround they wanted. Novalo, unfortunately, will be sent to the grave. But Redox still given an opportunity at life. This fight is taking way, way too long. But these buildings aren't easy to maneuver your way through. So definitely is making the task a little bit tougher at hand to execute. As Koa now looking to finally make his way possibly through the window. He does get on the ledge, and now it's going to be time to breach inside the compound. Down below, while the entire enemy team is going to be up in the attic, that grenade could spell disaster for Rosaflea if it connects. Good bounce. Unfortunately, going to be behind those crates, not able to go far enough, but he's got himself still 2 more grenades. Another attempt. He's going to be backed up. Oh, that one bounces almost back into his face. Oh my goodness, Koa, don't scare me like that.
Oh, here we go. This could be it now. The nade comes right on through, just explodes as it clears the first initial box. Now it's going to be up to Zeus to defend, but an effortless play coming through from Koa and the rest of the Vicious as they clean it up. It is going to be a Rosaflea out of here with 2 eliminations, but I'd say a valiant effort being brought in by them, but unfortunately not valiant enough. Now we are left with our top 10 teams to fight it out for that winner chicken dinner, and sadly not yet in placement point territory.
I have a question before we get into the serious part of this game for you, DK. Do you think if Rosaflea knew that was the Vicious's compound, they would have crashed another one? Or do you think they would have committed?
I'd like to believe that they would have just committed to it. I mean, based on the performance that we've seen so far in this match and the previous one, they looked hella confident. So, yeah, I'd say big ups to them.
I agree. I would like to imagine they would steal, but I don't know, sometimes just knowing who you're fighting up against can kind of stop you from committing to the fight in the first place. Here you go, Romanian Evolution. are going to be looking to make that move away. Actually, I say away. No, they want a piece of the pie, it seems. They want alliance. They're going back into the engagement, though. This smoke going to be denying a lot of visibility, it seems, for them, making this task a little bit rougher to execute. Here we go, alliance. Now creating a little bit of an advantage. One player of Evo going to be out, as Wave does confirm Fast Soft, and also Genzo Soft is going to be taken out. And so will Boo Boo Soft. All the softies are out of this game. An alliance, that is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, game over, as the entire roster is going to be sent to an eerie, eerie grave.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We'll give them a soft clap. There we go. But now we get to see what the rest of the teams are going to be doing, Max, because it is placement points that is going to be rolling up next. So whoever goes down, like on back, is going to be picking up those placements as they make it out. Down to 7 we go. We do have a few solos. Well, one from Rain currently holding on. Then we can see the duo coming through from the Romanian squad as well as NASA Gaming. So a few sets of duos, but the rest of the lobby is still pretty much full squad. So we are in for still quite a bit of a fight here.
It is not going to be easy, depending on this next circle. If it does not go on the Vicious compound, which, of course, it does. It does go on the Vicious's compound. It was going to be quite tough for them to make that move outwards because it's quite flat and you've got these roads also to cross over, but they do have cars, so even then it could still be possible. But no. It's going to be moving away from Team Moldova, from Romanian Evolution, and also some of these Eastern teams, which actually Romania squad are going to be looking for their very own fight. One big nade from Spicy will be hitting Marianne. Now, it's down to just the solo. Oh, that's a cheeky grenade through the double window slit. But it's not going to be doing anything of value as of right now. And Zaki just keeping everything in check, while Doran from Vicious in the distance, just kind of third-partying from a distance. If he sees a point that he can get, he's going to make sure he damn secures it. And so far, it's been working massively in their favor. But Big Baby, that's the team I'm really focused on here. The moment they have to leave, who are they going to be crashing on? What's going to be their game plan? Are they going to go for aggro? Are they going to try and play passive to get some placement points? Big Baby, I think, have to make a big play happen today if they want to make sure to catch up to the Vicious.
I mean, that, of course, is if the zone doesn't move in their favor. Right, if it stays in favor of the Vicious, yes, that is going to be quite the challenging rotation having to come through. Marian, again, getting knocked on down. Watch me, though, getting picked up there by Struce. It is action all over the place. But are we going to see Team Moldova now coming through with the upset here? Big Baby trying to hold on. I like this aggression coming through here from Moldova. 9 eliminations strong already. Sansanic coming in. Cheeky nade over the top. Now coming up with a shotty. Can he find it, though? Unfortunately, gets denied as EXO comes through with a slightly stronger shotty. And yeah, I mean, it does seem like Big Baby can hold on a little while longer here.
Indeed, they're going to be given that opportunity. They're going to be given a shot at the win. Still got himself a healthy squad. Though, can they actually make the transition over the road depending on the next circle? I don't know who is going to favor. Only the circle gods know right now. Well, that nade could be good. That could be a huge bounce if they made it through into the other wall. But no, it does not make it through. It's going to be, unfortunately, missing the mark completely. The Romanian squad slowing things down a little bit here. They want to make sure they win that fight, but they're still in circle technically, so they can allow themselves to extend it a bit, but they still want to push upstairs here, taking a severe beating. And actually, Marian almost biting the dust, and that fight, he's going to be put down to, what is that, 1 HP, literally. Makes sure to heal back up fully. Zaki with that smoke. Actually, this is a really good smoke from Zaki, denying angles from all the Vicious. So Redogs, Dorian can't get involved at a distance. Marian only got bandages, it seems, so he's going to make sure to heal up, and Koak, he's fully flexed. Oh, I didn't even see his angle here. He's fully flexed out to the west. And he's got the surprise factor onto Romanian Evolution. And Koak, alone, forcing back an entire team.
Yeah, I think Koak became a little bit restless. Just staying in the compounds like, no. I want to go fight. I want to go get the action. And so it's good to see that wide play coming through there from Koak, but needs to be careful, right? Because if you can see the opponents, there's a good chance that somebody else could maybe see you as well. But they know that very, very well. So for the time being, we are going to be waiting to see what is going to be happening here with the Romanian squad. Are they going to maybe be able to get this elimination? Or are they going to disengage? Because they have to now play a far position over towards that western front. And you were talking about Big Baby having to rotate out. Now it is going to be go time, right? They don't have any other options anymore.
Indeed, they're going to have to make that move outwards eventually. But here we go. Spicy from NASA is going to be taken out entirely of this match. Game over. Top 6 for them. This Romania squad now as a duo. Hey, not a bad fight. Definitely a good engage. Took a little bit longer than I think they initially expected. But all we can argue about is that he got the results they were hoping for. Big Baby, here you guys, you said DK, going to be able to look to make their move. They do have cars looking to be in decent condition, and also supercars with the skins looking fancy in the process. Unfortunately, crashes in the wall right away, but that unfortunately does happen every once in a while. But they do have some smokes thrown in front of them in the play zone, so they're going to go ahead, park the car, I believe, on a little bit of an off angle to make sure they can use it as a little bit of a leap position later on in this game around which they can play. But Romania squad, I would even say deny the point to the Blues in at that moment, but that's going to be picked off. Big Baby gets one and Vicious get one themselves on Romania squad, down to top 3 teams, all of them, and Team Rain still alive in this game. Christian again, sole survivor in that shed, and Big Baby, you know they wanted to focus on it, but they have to keep moving. They need to make it over to the water tower of Vicious. They do make it there, but that is a very nadeable position, and as I say that, Koa pulls out the pin. And that might be the easiest double nade elimination. Goes farm wide, a bit short. Stroess will be dodging that one.
But I like the fact here that Big Baby didn't send the whole team up, right? They did leave at least one player behind to keep the position if all else went downhill. But now it is turning into quite a bit of a competition here between the Vicious and Big Baby to see who can lock in the most eliminations, because both teams are already sitting on those double digits. Of course, we do see Rain Christian holding up on that far northern side. Oh, that is going to be one less player now left for Baby here, as they have only the 2 that we can see right there, right? Exo and Struce holding on the edge. And as you said, a very, very nadeable position. I'm pretty sure if Koa tries, right, he'll be able to send a nade all the way across to meet them.
But I believe that was his final grenade, so unless he looted some more, I think that is going to be the end for him. And we're in stage 8. Next circle, I believe, looking at the minimap, is going to be... Yeah, it's going to be ending right on top of Koa. So he's going to be kind of deciding how this fight goes and hopefully able to defend it to the full extent of the law of PUBG Mobile esports. What kind of law is that? I don't know. We'll have to write a few commandments. But Christian here, his smoke's going to be blooming. Trying to exit out of this shed. You know what? Hey, able to get yourself in a shed, DK, and getting top 3 out of it against Vicious and also Big Baby, some of the biggest squads in this lobby. That is definitely a massive, massive achievement. And keeping Team Rain in the conversation of a potential first place rank at the end of today. Now, just trying to run around and outlive Big Baby, it seems, but I don't think that is really going to work out. There's only so many smokes you can carry in your backpack, but it might be enough to make the cross over the road. But after that, it's anyone's game.
I mean, if the entire rest of the lobby is looking at you, pointing their guns right at you, it's going to be a really tough one to try and survive. Not only just rotate up in towards the zone. Fortunately, though, so far for Christian, it's working out. Doran shooting everywhere where Christian isn't. So, yeah, Christian going to have to just get right up close and personal to that little ledge. As the only thing currently standing between them and the lobby is nothing, as they take the quickest ticket back in that direction. Now it is going to be a 2v3 showdown. Big Baby and the Vicious trying to gain that winner chicken dinner. As we know, the Vicious, they've already shown that they dominate when it comes to Erangel. But are they going to be able to do it again? Or maybe, Max, Big Baby could look to play the upset here.
Maybe able to steal away the crown right now. The Erangel crown of Vicious. Redox, though, I love this off angle he went for. You could even see he tried to get on top of the roof, but he did fail the jump. But this off angle is just pinning down the entirety of Big Baby. Exo, stress, no movement allowed whatsoever. And they're even going to be stunned. Chuck, what was that, C4? I believe he definitely... Oh, a smoke. Okay, I mean, I guess he's just trying to deny more information away from Big Baby, but I do think that is not going to be doing too much in their favor. But here we go. Redox's off angle is going to be paying off massively, and now it's down to the 1v2. They will be going for the revive, and one of their teammates will Stross allow that to happen as the nade pin is out and turning on over now to his main shotgun, doing so much damage, but it's just not quite enough to put an end to the reign of terror of Vicious as they claim their 3rd chicken dinner on Erangel.
Absolutely insane showing of dominance right there. But you got to give it up to Big Baby. I mean, they made me think that there's a chance, right? That they could potentially play an upset here, but unfortunately, well, the Vicious just had the numbers advantage. And I think Redox's off-angle play really coming in clutch here, really helping them quite a bit to just solidify that position overall. But yeah, I think game number 2, a very, very exciting one. Love the way that everybody kind of just stepped up here.
Yeah, it was a very, very fun match from so many players, so many teams. Big Baby, as you said, really nice to see them almost giving a run for their money over to the Vicious. But hey, Rain, Christian, again, I don't know what it is about Christian and Team Rain. He just keeps keeping the hope alive for this team, getting some extra placement points, keeping them in the game just a little bit further every step of the way. He did on Rondo earlier today, and now in this game on Erangel. Can he do it once more on Erangel in match number 3? Only the future knows. But yeah, very fun match, and I'm intrigued to see how the leaderboards are going to be looking after that one. So you know what? Let's check it out right now to see what kind of dent was made by Big Baby at the top, and they're going to be at 89 points. But because Vicious got the win, that point lead is increasing even further. 121 points for them. It's not impossible, DK, to see another team overtake them, but it's just looking extremely unlikely at this point.
Yeah. It is looking quite unlikely, especially now with nearly a 40-point gap being created. I mean, this reminds me, it brings me back to what we had on the Poland side, right after that second day start as well. So it is looking very, very similar to that. In fact, we're only 3 points away from seeing that. But yeah, there's still a bit of hope for the teams here to play at. And of course, as we know, the slot that you want to aim for is the top 6, right? So EBL, they're going to try everything they can to defend that. 61 points ahead of 35. I don't think they have to stress too much, but they can't also really sit back and relax, right? They have to keep that pressure up because they're only 10 points away from third place. So there is still an opportunity for them to increase the amount of money that they might win at the end of this event today.
Yeah, I believe it's quite a decent point gap also between 6th and 7th place. If I'm looking at it, I believe it's 26 points between EBL Esports and Romanian Evolution, which of course is, as you said, where you want to be if you want to get some prize pool. As of right now, that's a point gap that's quite sizable, but 3 games, anything can happen if you get a good enough average. With that said, guys, that is going to be our second match of the day. Will Vicious keep the reign of terror going, or are we going to be seeing another team take home the win on that one? If you want to get an answer to that question, stick around. Game number 3 is coming up in a few short minutes.
Change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya.
Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Yok şimdi vardı senin başına geçirmek.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başka geçirmeden.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseni sonra.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi ben çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya. Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi vardı senin başka geçirmeden.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseni sonra.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi ben çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end.
Today has been spicy, and this next game is definitely going to be dicey for these teams. My name is Maxman, still joined by DK, ready to break down our final Erangel. DK, not only for the Romanian side of things, but for the entire edition here of the always-on monthly finals for Poland and Romania, which is a bittersweet ending. But you know what? It would be even cooler if Vicious can do it by winning 4 Erangels back to back to back to back. Can it happen? We'll have to wait and see. But boy, the level of gameplay compared to day 1 has increased significantly on day 2.
It has quite a bit, and then one thing that I was hoping for, but it was almost there, is you missed one thing, one little piece in the rhyme, icy, boom, because he said spicy, dicey, icy.
I see, but he's not playing. So
yeah,
why would
but I
bring
mean
it
that's
up?
so
Yeah.
you could have said something like, so today we have the vicious, but we have no icy, and so, you know. Who knows? Whatever. Any which way. Yes, look at that massively impressive look getting thrown at by Max over there as we're getting ready to hop into our final Erangel. And potentially, maybe, Max, as you've said, right, the 4th win for the Vicious to come through on into this match. Or, as you've called them yesterday, the Wishes.
The win from the Vicious. The Wishes.
Yeah.
It's how we call it when they keep on winning. Are we going to get 4 Wishes today? It's just such a weird word. no, the one-way combo is not working. But yeah, I believe they can make it happen this time around. I mean, it just looked... I think you would agree in the sense that it looked effortless, in my opinion, the way they were playing. And I know some people are going to be saying, we're biased towards them. At least I am biased. I don't know about you, DK. I am, because I've covered these guys for like literal years in PUBG Mobile Esport. I know they're not going to be shying away from any team in this lobby. But now it's not up to them. Really, it's up to Big Baby, it's up to Team Rain, it's up to Rosaflea, up to Team Moldova to show they are also on that level. Because if you're just waiting to get a good game come your way and hope that the circle is in your favor, unfortunately, you make your own luck in this game sometimes, and you can see looking at Vicious, they didn't always get the circle, and yet they just keep on winning.
Yeah, I mean, it is looking pretty good to see how the rest of, these top teams have been performing so far, the top placing teams with regards to those points. So, yeah, I mean, they do have the potential to kind of try and rub shoulders with the Vicious, and they've been holding their own pretty well so far. But I'd love to see more of that, right? I want to have a continuation of that, not only into game number 3, but game 4, game 5, right? All the way to the end. You got to keep that pacing up, because at the end of the day, it makes you a better team, right? You learn how to deal with these exceptionally challenging situations. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But of course, first things first, we're going to head over into Erangel for one more time to see where that zone's going to go, what the flight bot's going to do, and whether or not the Vicious are going to go for number 4.
The Vicious. Will they do it? Once again, you know what, guys, in chat, I'm seeing there's a lot of people in the comments is very active right now. Tell us, who do you think is going to be claiming this win? And if you think Vicious can be making it happen 4 times in a bloody row. We'd be making history here on these always on tournaments. But yeah, I'm very excited, and especially what's cool to see, DKs, as we said already earlier, this is going to be a monthly finals. It's going to be a reoccurring tournament, and I can't wait to see not just only the storylines of these teams and players on the particular tournament itself, but also on the long run. Like, 6 months from now, if all goes well, these teams keep on playing, they keep improving, they keep playing against teams like the Vicious, right? And like, okay, we're learning how they're playing, we're adapting to their gameplay style, and then they become, an S+ tier team that it might get picked up by some of the biggest orgs in the game and make it to these big global or even regional or then maybe global events. So there's a lot of hope for these two regions to just perform and do well. But it's time, DK. It's Erangel. It's back on our screens. Vicious. Can they make the dream become reality?
Well, we also got to give a big shout out to TETO Games, Max, because they are bringing the action onto our screens here as well. So much love going out to TETO Games. But yes, it is go time as the teams start to move on down. Max, we have one team in Severny.
Yes! Victory! I'm so happy. This made my day. You know what's not making my day? Is Mill to Power. I think we have a hot drop there.
Yeah.
Is it happening? Yeah, it is. Okay. Defeat. Well, it happens. You know what? One hot drop is over. One has taken place of Severny, it seems. But a victory is a victory, DK. I'll take it. A dub is a dub is a dub every day of the week.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely correct. And of course, what's also dub is going to be that zone, right? Because it went over to the west, which is, well, it starts with a W. So we'll see who's going to look to get themselves situated early on in this match, because nobody currently is holding up in zone. It does seem like, well, maybe EBL or, well, the Romanian Evolution could be one of those first few squads to look to get themselves situated over there. Who knows? Maybe even it might be the Vicious, right? So many potential teams could look to step it up. I was hoping, almost looking at where we see Alliance dropping in, that we could see something coming through in heaven. But they are up in Mansion, so close, but not quite there. We do have NASA Extreme, though, right here alongside with him.
Oh, the Extreme in Mansion. The interesting hot drop location, though. You don't see many happen here. It's barely enough loot, in my opinion, for 4 players. Even less for 2 full squads. Yeah, interesting location. But you know what? Sometimes when you change the drop location, you're just going to be encountering someone in the process. That's the issue with these very short 2-day tournaments, is that even if you do make changes, sometimes you're just going to be encountering another team instead, and it just ruins your entire tournament. Here, though, Styles is going to be making that jump upwards on the staircase, and he's just going to get instantly punished for doing so. So, a little bit of an L in the chat for Stylex, as NASA now rethinking, should we fight it? Should we leave? The thing is, about Mansion, is quite funny. The car spawns are, near it at least, are absolutely terrible. Meaning if you want to leave, you've got to do it by foot, and that's going to result in a lot of bullets being shot in your back.
Yeah, it's not really ideal. So, hopefully they might have something happen over here. We do see Team Moldova also moving a little bit closer. I did see a vehicle on their end, so that could be definitely one way of getting a vehicle to come into this region. But I like this 3-way engagement that we have potentially brewing, as now Alliance just holding on the outskirts. It is giving NASA Extreme here a bit of an opportunity to try and figure out how they want to take this approach here. But look at Chaos, right? Just rushing straight on forward from the north is potentially going to find themselves a little bit of that lolly soft.
Ooh. Get a little bit of that. We'll see if you can find it. Yeah, there you go. So elimination feed Marco finding Frost of On Back V2. Definitely a little bit of a stalemate in this fight. Alliance, here we go. I want to see what's happening in the elimination feed, mostly. It seems way more interesting than this Mansion Hot Drop. Blazer here, Yuzi with the ASM Abacan. Love that weapon, by the way. I know it's one of the newest additions to the game. And also, did you see, next update, DK, we are going to be having a brand new sniper that is also has a bayonet on the end. So it's like a sniper melee weapon, which...
Oh, wow.
Is that going to be meta in esports or not? I don't know. I'll have to check the stats on it, but it's definitely unorthodox for a PUBG Mobile weapon, for sure.
Yeah, it's long range and close range. All at the same time.
But not mid-range.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that makes it just a bit mid then. I don't know. Ooh, nice push though. NASA Extreme coming through. But yeah, bayonet on a weapon could have quite a few exciting bits of potential to it. As much as NASA Extreme here trying to clear out the building. Ooh, but instead Blazer has been found. Quick follow-up going through there from a whole bunch of letters as well. But now it is going to be Sansonich. Again, being an absolute menace. We did see in the first match, beautiful hits coming through. Second match, follow-up. Third match, Sansonich. Again, just on the money with the utility here.
A very good piece of utility. Sansanchi now making a cross. He knows that's going to be his golden opportunity to move forward and deeper into Mansion. But Extreme does get himself that res, and now the jump shot from Viper, almost able to connect, but not quite going the entire way. Retro also going to be bringing back Watch Me. Naomi's brother is going to be back into the game. Love to see it. But the nades, man, Sansanchi does it. Sanich, there you go. I'm going to get it correct eventually. It's a complicated name to wrap my head around. This is just hitting grenade after grenade. This guy is just built different, able to calculate the velocity of those grenades and just able to hit them with pinpoint accuracy. But Watch Me back to life, brought to it by one of his teammates. He's now going to be looking to go in full assault mode onto all of Alliance. And even maybe to get himself that elimination for himself. He's just, getting involved, wrapping around. Of course, though, with the knife. Trying to do a little bit of a cheeky, clip-worthy play. And now the entire team is here. He waited, which I love to see happen. Waited to make sure they don't take any unnecessary casualty. And now they're just going to be swarming the building, looking for that one single elimination. And Sansanich does find it eventually. GG, well played. Team Moldova up to 4 eliminations right here in Mansion.
Yeah, I mean, that was a Sansanich sandwich that we saw coming through just there. Yeah. So, well played indeed. Now it's down to what's going to happen in that zone, as we've seen quite a few more teams already look to take a few interesting positions here. We do have something potentially brewing there between the Romanian squad and the Romanian Evolution, all the way up in towards Georgiapol. EBL, though, beautiful setup right there up in center zone. I don't think that EBL is going to have to stress about anything for a good potential few minutes. But over on that eastern side, that is where I think a lot of the pressure is going to be rolling on in, especially from Big Baby and NASA Esports that are pushing towards the zone itself.
Yeah, big push here happening also for Team Moldova, making their way forward away from Mansion. That's going to be a long rotation, though. But he says silent. They got the electric car skin. No sound. No revving engine. None of that. Yes. No, we like to support the environment. Hell yeah.
Wow.
Oh, now you got gas. Okay, well that's not going to do it.
Well, it's the gas, the battery canister.
It's the electric gas.
Yes, yes. Because they're in charge of the vehicle. So you got to make sure that they can make it all the way through.
I got that one too quickly. Rares. I hate it. I don't. I'm infected, guys. DK's getting to my brain. The zombie infection has begun. It's spreading.
Like all good things, Max, it just takes a little bit of time. Eventually, it will happen. Speaking about happening, that is exactly what the Vicious are going to be looking to do here as they push up onto EBL. I mean, this is amazing though, right? Because somehow EBL and the Vicious keeps on being super close to each other almost every single match.
Yep. They're just the bros. They love each other.
Yeah.
Coexisting together as neighbors in these games. Unfortunately, not for always super long. The circles does kind of decide if yes or no that friendship can continue or end in a bittersweet way. There you go. I always love seeing Doran play with a buggy because I have that exact McLaren skin. Cost me an arm and a leg. I have it. Very happy about it. So I'm glad that also Doran is repping the McLaren, the orange one in particular, as he's now inside the farm area. I like it, parking the car in a very decent position and making sure you can't pop the wheels from the quarry area. So that's going to be denying a bit more pressure that EBL could apply on them. And now they're in there and they are going to be chilling for a big portion of this game because they're dead center. So even if they get a really bad circle, chances are they're going to be able to stay there until circle 3, maybe even circle 4.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very, very good spot to be in indeed. But now, it's going to be a bit of an opportunity here for NASA Esports to see if they can find a little bit of that magic here as Diablo is going to be popping in and out of the windows, looking for angles all over the place. There's going to be Evolution just ahead of them. Good bit of a vantage point. Wave is going to try and secure that res, or at least maybe just be part of the distraction so the res can come through. But look at Sensi up on the hill. Ooh, Black though moving in for the finisher. Confirmation is in. BLL, one player less to try and work with. And what a long way Black actually rotated out for that elimination, Max.
Yeah, they're going to be sending it Black right over the ridge with his car. I don't know how far he was able to go, but apparently... apparently not far. He just gets eliminated in the elimination feed. I looked very cool, very badass, but you look away for 2 seconds and unfortunately the entire play just falls apart instantly. Just like a poorly baked cake. So that was not the way to go. For him, as now, Diablo, also the rest of his team going to be playing on one of these more eastern positions, if I'm not mistaken, looking at my minimap. Or no, I think I'm getting baited by the team colors again. Yep, they're over to the west. Okay, I got baited. Nope, wrong position. But they're nice compound here. Especially the buildings are positioned in such a way you can easily hide cars if you want. So you're not going to be having too bad of a later game transition moment. As very northern shift. Half of this circle is completely unused. And Team Rain understand that you can see on the west. And they're going to start to flex even further up north. Because they don't want to be surrounded by teams. They want to have their own real estate up there. So I'm loving to see what Robbie is doing. He's going really far, looking for what's free. And they're going to have a lot of options for themselves later on in the match.
Yep, a lot of options will definitely be available to them. Like, one thing that's interesting to see is that, like, for us, for instance, right, Keystone and Hugo, their color is pretty much the same on our map that we're looking at, right? But that's not the case in the match, right? Things are completely different, just as we can see the players here from First One Romania are trying to hold up a bit of a defensive line. Will the Romanian squad, though, be able to get the jump? Those utilities looking pretty much on the money, but it is going to be a 2v3 push. Oh, they do lose one, and now it's going to be up to Zaki again to see if they can piece this puzzle together. In fact, it is a full 4-piece coming through from First One. So will this be yet another opportunity for that elimination to be secured? As you can see, 6 eliminations just hanging in the wing. This is a pretty good performance for First One Romania.
Oh, that is so hard. Such a beautiful grenade from Cremo27. Able to hit a grenade on a player that's on a roof like that. It's really hard because if you overcook it, it goes down the roof and you don't do anything. And that play alone just kind of enables the push of Marco that results in the squad wipe heading their way. So beautiful play from First One Romania. Enabled now to stand strong. 7 elims. 4 of those going to be over to Axe. So very happy with the turn of events in this compound breach, in God's compound in particular, which again, living up to the name of a very strong compound if you can defend it properly, and so far it has been going massively in their favor. As WhatsApp player, a little bit more silent last game after that breach onto the Vicious. Maybe you're trying to not do the same thing here this time around, avoid them like the plague. But 2 limbs for Zeus, definitely a slower start. But they have these cars, they're not in circle, they need to go for a send down. A lot of the compounds north of them are currently occupied. So are you going to go for an even wider rotate to try and find a position that's free? Or are you looking to go for a big breach in the very near future?
Yeah, that's a good question, though. I did also notice that Doran initially got that knock onto Black, right? When you were just praising Black for that play. And then Doran got the knock again over onto Black again. And off they went and finally got the confirmation in. But speaking of confirmations, there's still quite a bit of play to be had here. As we can see, teams are currently just kind of spread all throughout the map. Moldova, though, still in the mix. They are going to be pushing through from that northern side as we take a cheeky look at that map. Ooh, there is a very tough position as the zone now shifts over towards the eastern side.
Okay, so Vicious have a broken position. Where the crate is to the east, this is an entire, like ridgeline mountain. You can park your cars there, you can have easy information. Just make sure no one rotates south of you, like going on those wide rotations, like maybe Team Rosa Flare might be doing it, maybe Team Big Baby, or even the side of Romanian Evolution. Make sure no team pushes that angle, and man oh man, they're going to be looking so comfortable from phase 4 entering into phase number 5. So Vicious, again, the macro side of things is looking nailed down to a T. As NASA Gaming, Hugo making that push forward, trying to go on to possibly Team Rain, but I think the moment he spots them, he might rethink if he wants to commit to the play or not. As of right now, he's still pushing forward as Overladdie from Big Baby in this ridge, looking to put a little bit more pressure onto his enemy team outside the circle.
This position here for Big Baby is looking a little bit more challenging, right? They only have the 2 players up. For a second there, I also got a little bit trolled by the map feeds. As
welcome.
I was about to say, Big Baby is so split up, and then I saw, no, they aren't. There's only 2 of them. But so here we go, as we jump over towards NASA. Ooh, NASA Gaming, and of course then Team Rainier. Grodex, one of our MVP contenders, coming through from yesterday, coming through with a beautiful nade. But is this going to be enough, though, for them to try and solidify that position even more so? NASA Gaming, though, going to be just holding on the edge down to a 2-piece. Not the easiest opportunity available to them. But maybe they can find some magic way. I'm not quite sure if that is going to happen, because it does seem Max like Rain are going to look to just absolutely demolish them on the edge.
That's going to be the game plan. Team Rain, what are you going to be doing on that edge? I'll have to see. Very soon we'll be having the answer. Romanian Evolution are also looking pretty steady on their approach onto NASA, and so far has been paying off massively. They find himself Salam. Now the off angle's been lost, meaning they can put their focus on those 2 southern players, but there is 1 player north of them, Bling. I'm not sure how aware they are of his position, and currently because he's just hiding behind that tree, it seems like they have no idea whatsoever, but he does not have a single grenade in hand, meaning he can't really do that surprise play. But you know what? He might be able to do it right here as they go right next to his tree. Sprays down with the PB Bison. And now the AKM have taken a severe beating, trying to clap back against Wave. But nothing really comes of it. And Bling will be falling eventually. And that's another off angle of NASA lost, followed up by Flux. Now down to just a single player that is in the blues, in the zone. Meaning he can maybe try and stretch this game a little bit further for his team. But really, how far can that really be?
Yeah, that is going to be a pretty tall order. But we also do see the players there from First One Romania also just playing out of that guard compound, just being an absolute menace over towards the edge of the zone here. Meanwhile, up towards Rain, Sakalu rather, has rotated up right onto Spicy. Spicy again being the final survivor here for their team. Out comes those shotties once more. Will we see those hits now? Will Spicy be able to make it out of this one in 1 piece? Ooh. Sakalo and the rest of Rain absolutely relentless as they move on forward. Grodex adding yet another name to the overall tally here. But down to the final few teams we go, Max. It seems like we've got 8 teams remaining currently.
Yep, and there is going to be God Compound still in circle, which I have not seen a proper God Compound finish in years at this point. It's so interesting to see how things are going to be devolving for these squads. Diablo, though, still southwest outside the circle. I think he's going to try and remain undetected, unseen. But Vicious over to the east. I talked about their amazing position on the mountainside. not going to be in zone anymore. I think they're all going to be going for Sansanich's position, the Harry Potter Tower, which is very strong in the east currently. Makes a lot of sense for them to make that exact transition point. Here we go, though. 4 Warriors. Sheriff going to be spotted out, making his way back into the buggy as Team Rain going to be just spraying him down with bullets. As of right now, still going to be able to survive. But I think that now they might be looking for the chase as an opportunity to carve a bit more space in the circle for themselves.
Let's see whether or not they have sharpened up chisels to get that space carved out, right? That is going to be the big one that we'll look to have answered here. Still, 8 teams, 23 players alive. Now it's going to be Diablo trying to do as much as they can here. And a very cheeky approach coming through here from Sakalu, right? Right on the front line. The rest of the team lending quite a bit of a helping hand here. Those nades just raining on down as Rain keeps on with the pressure. Diablo dipping, ducking, and diving all over the place. But you got to watch out for first one Romania, as they are also well within reach. Fortunately, these ridges working out, at least for the time being, for Diablo. But for how much longer will this work? Well, not much, right? Because exactly as I said, you got to watch out for first one, and that is what they did. Snuck in a cheeky spray all the way from the compound.
Yep, you better watch out. You better not cry, because now you're sent right back to that lobby. And it's not even Christmas time, so there's nothing to really console you at this point. But now Vicious on the move. Went even further up north than I initially expected. I really thought they were just going to go for the Harry Potter Tower, but no, that's not enough for the Vicious. They want blood on their hands, and that's exactly what they're going to be able to find. Looking to get himself one elimination, up to 7 so far. Sheriff, though, able to stay behind, I think, is just an exploded car in this valley. And as of right now, that is going to be enough to keep him up and going in this game, but unfortunately, it's not going to result in too many eliminations coming out his way, I believe. As Rain also looking over here, but now they see the Vicious are getting a bit more involved, taking more northern side control. They want to make sure they don't get fully outplayed and outzoned in the north, so they are looking to clap right on back. Vicious giving a lot of respect to Team Rain here. You can see they instantly reposition. Koa getting very aggressive initially, but giving the respect they deserve and moving on back to his team to make sure they play this one safe and don't take any unnecessary casualty.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be quite selective with how you go to, or rather, through these engagements, because you got to keep your head on the swivel, right? If you miss one potential angle, that could be you being served up to another team and just helping them create even more of a lead ahead of you. But now, Big Baby, oh, this is going to be such a sticky spot to try and work through. But again, right, the Vicious staying so true to their squad name here, being an absolute menace. Baban even getting hit, and now it's over to Overladdie, trying to survive as the Vicious now descend down upon his position.
Yeah, Baban going Babang, and that is going to be the end for him. He's going to get flushed tonight by Navallo himself. And the thing is about these roads, by the way, typically you hate playing on roads. They're just so bad, they're super open, and you have no cover. These roads near God's compound are just straight up valleys, meaning the edge of the roads are beautiful ridges, as you can see right now on your screen, and it's such a good position. You have yourself some utility, some grenades, anything to chuck over to your enemies. It is just such a good road to play around, which is rare in the world of PUBG Mobile esports. Romanian Evolution, though, still over to the west. Playing it slow, hugging the edge, not looking to get fully involved in a fight just yet because they just don't know. Is the circle going to be on the compound? Is it going to be in the open fields? Is it going to be on the road valleys? There's so many options available. You don't know just yet. So wait until Phase 7 shows its ugly head, and then they are going to be making a full-on send play, in my opinion, based on that circle.
And that's still 2 minutes away, Max, so a lot can happen in that time. But it's interesting to see that no one is really too interested in pushing up into that God compound just yet. So I think for first one, Romania, it is buying them quite a bit of time here. Of course, it is also adding to the overall placement point tally that they've been able to secure for themselves so far. And there's 3 squads, 3 full squads still left on the battlefield alongside the Romanian Evolution team as well. So all of those squads positioned up in towards the north. You can see Ray now experiencing a little bit of a challenge there as, again, the Vicious start to spray off in all directions, just spotting those pixels out of place and reacting to it so quickly.
So speedy. That is what you want to see at this point in the lobby of this caliber. Come on, Team Rain. Now, Got still 4 players alive. You got a ton of cars, and they're going for the breach on God Compound. They had a few other options they could have gone for, but no, that's the city they want to go for. MG3 in hand, though, going to be clapping right back in their faces, and they're getting mowed down by not only the defending team, but the off angle of the Vicious. And it's not even a breach. It seems like Team Rain losing everyone except for Christian that keeps surviving as a solo. And once more, maybe hoping to make his team reach a top 3 podium position. But why is it always Christian? We shall never know.
Yeah, a very, very good question that we, as you said, right, will probably never have the answer to. But here we go. It is going to be the Vicious quickly looking to bounce back, looking to bring Doran back up into the fight.
Whoop.
First one, Romania now taking things to a whole different level. As they still have 3 players in this match. Not quite sure if Roflo is going to be able to be brought back. But they are definitely moving closer to the rest of the team. It is going to be the Romania Evolution team that will get spotted out of here. So it's all down to Chemo and whether or not those shots are going to be raining on down. Just trying to demolish the lobby. Of course, that zone is going to pop. Ooh, here we go.
I love this answer from First One Romania. The moment Team Rain, at least most of the team except for Christian, again, that's just for some reason still alive, they start going on top of these roofs. This angle from Chemo is just amazingly oppressive. Look at, you get pure full vision on the entirety of this lobby from that position alone. You can see where Vicious are, you can see where Romanian Evolution are, and you're not really taking too big of a risk. You can take shots if you want to, or you can just keep feeding information to your teammates. Chemo could be the one to kind of settle the deal here. Or are we going to be seeing indeed, DK? Let's not forget about it. The back-to-back chicken dinner on Erangel from none other than the Vicious themselves. It could be happening as Christian here looking to defend this top floor with his grenades.
I mean, they've got the numbers, right? They have the numbers advantage. They have the absolute brutality available to them. But that is going to be, at least for the time being, first one, Romania securing their 13th elimination here. I mean, what an absolute rampage that they've been on so far here. This is actually, if they get one more elimination, Max, one more, they've been able to double the total amount of eliminations that they've been able to secure in this whole entire event.
Oh, in one game? Oh my goodness.
Yes, one game.
Oh, that's all it needed. That's all they needed. And so far, maybe able to secure themselves also a 2nd place if it's one player, Lulino, does get picked off. But yeah, in this foliage, in these fields, it's very hard to spot them out. And I think that at this moment, they are going to be just focusing mainly on the Vicious. They're not looking at that one hay bale in the distance. So Vicious are going to be the focal point. How far is Redox going to be able to really use that angle, though? I mean, they're just hoping right now that Phase 8 does not include God Compound, because you can see it's rare to see Vicious being a little bit hesitant and slowing down, but they just know how strong this bloody compound is, DK. They don't want to push it unless the circle dictates that has to happen in the script, as they are making it over to the ridge. Though again, it's playable. It is in nade range, but currently they do make the move, and 4 Evo are going to be taken out in 3rd.
15 eliminations, Max. They've now gone over and above. They have more than doubled their elimination points. And here we go. It is going to be that final showdown. The Vicious now starting to encroach on first one, Romania. But who's going to win it? I mean, looking at the possession that first one Romania has, they are going to make it exceptionally tough for the Vicious.
It is going to be hard, but I'm looking at Phase 9. So, okay, so they're still in circle. They don't have to move, which is great. But Vicious, are they going to get a bit too impatient? I think they are. Looking at how they're wrapping around. They just want to fight. They want to wrap this up now. But first one, Romania, you cannot fall under the pressure. I would recommend, though, regrouping. Right now, this split we're seeing, it's way too big of a split. You're in a 3v4 scenario. You're against the Vicious, which normally they don't know it's the Vicious, but they might. I don't know. Maybe they counted the lobby number. But right now, you can see this 3-1 split. There's an idea. There's a very good theme happening for Vicious. With the off angle, Narvalo just feeding information and keeping pressure with the angle while his 3 teammates working together, being that oppressive fire force that if a fight comes their way, they are ready to tackle head on. But Narvalo, he's got 6 grenades. I was about to say, he's going to start throwing them eventually, and here he's going to be throwing them out to make sure he can create that pressure against first one Romania.
I mean, what a beautiful distraction this is by Narvalo, right? Just kind of pulling the attention here, or trying to pull the attention from first one Romania. A quick potential bait and switch coming in. But it all will be revealed momentarily as the Vicious now starts to tighten their grip. And first one, Romania. Oh, Marco thought they saw something, but unfortunately, the thing they saw was the quick and express way back into the lobby, potentially.
Sorry, so I'm getting a little bit angry here, DK, because what are first one Romania waiting for? Are you waiting for next circle shift? Like, guess what? It's going to be center. It's going to be on the road. It's going to go over to Vicious. And they give over Marco. No, you got to regroup and do a play. You got to be proactive. Here, they're just being reactive. I wouldn't even be surprised if they go out to the blue zone, to be completely honest. And here, jumping out the window, again, giving another solo fight. While Kemo is just staying on the rooftop, not even getting involved in the conversation at this point. They're just looking for this one solo player. The shots going wild are going to be able to get themselves row flow. And now Kemo on the rooftop, left as a solo. He's going to be dropping on down. And this not even a fight at this point. Vicious, make the dream come to reality. We'll be taking every single win on Erangel in the Always On Romanian monthly final season 1. The Kings of the Grassy Pastures, DK, have been crowned today.
Yeah, absolutely insane performance coming through from the Vicious. But again, no surprise to see them do that. But I think especially looking at first one Romania, Max, this was such a good opportunity, right? They now know how strong that compound is, but they also now know that the compound alone is not enough, right? You have to defend it, especially if the center of phase number 9 is nowhere near where you are. You have to reposition to that. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of a fix maybe coming for that if they do find themselves in a position like that somewhere in the future. But yeah, a very, very exciting turnover or turnaround or outcome overall for Erangel. The only thing that we have left now, Max, is, well, aside from the points, of course, is going to be Miramar.
Yes, Miramar, or as I like to call it, Miramar is my little map. We'll have to see how things go down over on that map. Yes, me and Miramar, we're homies like that. I have a little surname, a little nickname for it. Miramar, he's my boy. With that said, the leaderboard is also my boys, and we're going to check it out right now, see exactly what is happening on those rankings. But of course, no, not even a spoiler at that moment. We know Vicious, they're done and dusted. They've got 144 points. Big Baby at 94, nothing to be scoffed at. And no, I got the point. I remember the word scoffed at, DK. Got it correct. Ooh. But Big Baby, yeah, 94 points are going to still be looking very strong. You would literally need to hot drop Vicious 2 times in a row and destroy them and get 2 massive games back to back if you want to have a chance. Outside of that, we do have our champion. But top 6, that is where the money can be made.
Yeah, 50 points is quite a gap, right? So, yeah. I think you might be right, Max. I think you might be right, right? But of course, we don't know what is going to be happening because, I mean, in the previous 2 Miramars that we've seen, the Vicious, yes, they have been quite vicious on that map, right? The first one, they got 12 eliminations. In the last match, they also still raked in quite a few performances there, securing themselves 9 eliminations. So we know that they can obviously do what is necessary, but what's Big Baby going to do in response to that? Because, as you've said, right, the only way for Big Baby to try and catch them is to wipe them out back to back. Could that happen? Not very likely, I think. But if there was any team that could try it, I would say maybe Big Baby could try it.
Maybe they can make them cry in agony going into these next 2 matches on Miramar. With that said, guys, it is time for a break. We'll be back very soon to kick off these matches of Miramar.
Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games Always On. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Albertson'a yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Albertson'a yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya.
Abi şimdi
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başka hiç yok.
Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala. Ahmet'i de aldım dur.
Abi çekemem ben de imkansız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel.
Abi şimdi de
Ben sev.
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başka geçirmeyeceğim.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldım dur.
Abi çekemem ben de imkansız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi gel.
Abi şimdi de
Ben sev.
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başka geçirmeyeceğim.
Tamam. Gidiyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldım dur.
Abi çekemem ben de imkansız ya.
So, two the vicious wins back to back. How about a third? Might be happening. Me, Maxman, and DK, we're back once again. It's going to be time to see who will be taking home this first Miramar game of today. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be down to the wire for these guys. And again, Big Baby, the hot drop might be happening if they want to make history in these always-on tournaments. DK, how are we feeling before diving into some Miramar goodness?
Yeah, feeling pretty all right. I'm excited to see what is going to be happening. The teams get ready to cook. I mean, if Baby are going to hot drop, they have to be efficient as they've ever been, right? They're going to have to be just with it, on it, and everything else that needs to happen if they want to take them down quick, fast. I don't think that they might be hot dropping. If anybody else in the lobby wants to attempt it, go ahead, you know. Best of luck to you, but yeah, we still have that engagement, that potential fight to see who is going to be locked into the top 6, right? So Romanian Evolution, they are still trailing by about 20 points from EBL. So will they be able to close that gap coming into the final 2 matches? If they want to, they're going to have to ensure that they at least get a minimum, I'd say, of 12 points in each of the following 2 games. So the pressure is going to be on. If they want the share of the prize pool, they're going to have to really work for it.
Yeah, I mean, 12 points is definitely not a bad average, especially over the course of 2 matches. It's doable, but it's really going to be dependent on how aggressive you are, because sure, you can get some placement points, but the big teams at the top tend to always be the same 4 to 5 teams right now. So you got to mainly focus on getting those early to mid-game eliminations. But with that said, I'm seeing we're currently loading in the game. So in a few short minutes, hopefully, we'll be getting into our first Miramar of the evening. First of 2 games before we do crown our champions. Who's going to be joining the ranks of moneymakers, right, from the Polish edition, but here for Romania? We'll get the answer in just about an hour's worth of time, so hopefully you're nice and comfy to enjoy these matches. But DK, I want to ask you, before we get into the game, when you are watching PUBG Mobile Esports, any level of tournament, can be these like small tournaments, can be the regional tournaments, can be also the global tournaments. What is your best way to consume PUBG Mobile Esports streams?
There.
You watch it on a screen? No way.
No, that's a TV, dude. That's a 50-inch gaming TV.
I was more like wondering, like,
Put it on
what,
there,
like snacks?
oh,
Are you like in
yeah.
pajamas when you're watching PUBG Mobile Esport? No, what's the vibe? No, I watch it on a TV.
It's way too hot in Africa to wear pajamas when PUBG is on. Like, I mean, the games are so sweaty already, and now you want me to be no. So you wear shorts, like you change from your pajamas into normal clothes, right? Everyday clothes. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have a preset of how I like to, of what I like to have with me, but default is over there. We watch it on there.
Hey, that's definitely an answer. I was good. My answer is I'm always under a very thick blanket on the couch, watching it on my also big screen TV with a nice cup of hot chocolate. Now that's how I like to enjoy my PUBG Mobile Esports. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to get some hot chocolate. No, we don't have hot chocolate in this fight. I have hot tea, though. That's going to be my replacement. But here we have it, guys. Miramar is going to be on the menu. And I'm already seeing here, Impala to the east is going to be having a little bit of a clash. Team Moldova is going to be taking, I believe, a bit of a casualty early on if that was their play getting eliminated. And EBL Black also taken out early on. So we just barely started the game. And these hot drops are being destructive for some of these teams.
Well, I want to see it go beyond just hot drops, Max. I want that same kind of pacing that we had already in the first 3 matches kind of carry over into, well, the final 2, as we are 1 team down and we are not even 2 minutes into this first match. So, yeah, some pretty sweaty bits of action coming through. Now it's going to be a Romanian squad getting hit, as well as EBL is on an absolute rampage. I mean, Impala has been, this is the hottest Impala has been so far.
So Impala hot drops, I don't see those very often. Typically, it's quite uncontested. And also, you have decent car spawns in the middle of the city and the side of the city, so you can just get a car, leave. You don't commit to the fight whatsoever. But EBL, we know, do need points if they want to play catch-up to some of these big second, third place teams, right? So, actually, I don't hate this. So far, it's looking pretty cool, pretty nice. They're in 6th position, kind of the cutoff with the teams that are looking to get some prize pool too, so they can't afford to take an L at this moment in time. But Romania squad, a team that has not been known to be highly aggressive in the past. I think they're the team that might be renouncing this fight completely, looking to leave unscathed, keep all their players alive. Though, moving on over, it's going to be Valle del Mar. Big fight happening once more. We did have this fight happen yesterday. I believe it was with the same teams, and we did see On Back V2 take the L in that engagement. As of right now, they got the edge, they got that knock, and they are going to be looking to push their way forward.
Well, let's see whether or not they could potentially look to disengage. I think for both squads involved here, right? Both first one Romania and then, of course, the players here from On Back V2. I think their best call at this point is disengage and get into zone, especially looking at how far away that zone is, right? They have to cover 1.6 kilometers to get themselves in zone. That is a very, very long way. So we already see quite a few other teams starting to make that rotation, looking to get themselves situated. But this is also kind of like what we've been seeing in Savoni in the previous few days, right? You want to see aggression when you drop in this location. Otherwise, it just turns into a big old waiting session, right? Nothing really too much comes from this. So either one of these two teams either need to step up or they both need to step out of here and get in zone.
Well, getting in zone is how the game works. So hopefully they'll be trying to do that. because I've never seen a team win by not being in the zone. Actually, no, I lied. Actually, there was one time. It was a Sanhok game. We had Sanhok, the cave area, and a player was out in the blue, and they naded, the two other teams naded each other, and he won while bleeding out in the blue.
Oh, wow.
That was a very funny occurrence. I think I will never witness again. But the fact it happened once is already weird enough and very funny. That's it. That's my story time.
Nice. The impossible PUBG moments.
Yeah. What is your weirdest moment you've witnessed in PUBG Mobile Esport? You've casted.
The zone finishing on those eastern islands right here, on this map, right? That would be it over there, and then the other one would be on Erangel at the western bridge. The zone ended in the water just north of, just to the east of the lighthouse. On those rocks.
Oh, I've had that too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those are fun. I had that during the PUBG Mobile World League, and it was a punch fest at the end. They were trying to punch in the water using like a little bit of a sneaky glitch where you can actually punch while in the water. It was crazy. So, we have the same circle, man. We've got history. Look at that. Everything in motion. Love to see it. First one, Romania, though. All running with their pans in hand. Trying to clobber the competition. But on back V2, they had the lead a little bit. They had a bit of an advantage. I thought they would maybe use the opportunity to just leave, but nope, not the case. They're looking to commit to the engage. And now, Blanco, good roof angle, but unfortunately also quite nadeable. And you're going to see that nade going far and wide. Looking to be on a decent angle. Does do about half HP's worth of damage, but not resulting in a knock. Might be scaring Blanco away, and you can see he's just tucking tail and running at this point. Not interested in taking this fight any further.
I mean, rightly so. You don't want to get caught out with your hands still stuck in the reload animation. So let's see whether or not first one, Romania, is going to full send it. I mean, it'd be great for them, but on back, yeah, they're getting pressured, and this is exactly the kind of player that we want to have, or at least that I've been looking forward to seeing, as they chose violence as opposed to waiting for the zone to catch up and then using that to rotate forward. But those nades could definitely go all the way. Ooh, going off like fireworks. Looks like we're celebrating something, but no, it's going to be Branzo and Blanco holding nice and steadily. An absolute bombardment coming through here from first one, Romania. But they are yet to find those final few positions, right? It seems like first one, Romania is still pretty convinced that they're up on those roofs. So if we're on back ever wanted to get out of here, now would be the best time.
But I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to stick to the plan, which is to die again in Valle del Mar. On back V2. Why do you keep doing this? Yeah, I hope they'll learn from this, DK, on the next game and say, okay, you know what? Didn't work the first 3 times. How about we just call it a day? We tried, we failed. That's fine. It's okay to realize a mistake has been made and move on to other better things. But from what I've seen so far, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to do it a 4th and final time just to go out in a flash of glory, as Branzo is just going to be picked off from the back. Blanco down to almost no HP, taking so much damage to the blue zone. There's no recall towers on this map. So he will not be able to recall his teammate. Blanco in a distance. One more bullet, that's all you need. Will he be able to connect it? Oh, makes it slightly over the ridge line, and he will be able to live to see another day. But as a solo, that win, it's not happening.
And what's unfortunate is they had a great window to escape, right? That was when first ones thought that they were still on the roof, right? That was exactly the moment for them to just get the heck out of Dodge. But unfortunately, they weren't convinced of that themselves just yet. So it's sad to see it happen, but it has to happen at some point. Speaking about happening, look at that zone, Max, going from way up out there all the way down onto Graveyard, right into the fields over to the eastern side there of San Martin and Picado. So this is going to turn into quite the showdown. I'm especially looking at those Picado hills.
What? Not sure what stopped his car there, but yeah, it's going to be a very hard shift. We had very northern going down harshly southeast. San Martin Graveyard area is going to be in play. And we've had that circle finish, right, in these tournaments. So, wait, was it during Poland or was it during the Romanian edition? Now I don't remember. Which one was it?
I think it might have been in the Poland one.
I think it was. So actually, yeah, there's the first one for this tournament. That's the issue. You got 2 tournaments, literally no breaks in between. Is like they kind of merge into one big event. I'm like, well, no, that was the different region, different teams entirely. So just got to get used to it. Here in the graveyard, there's going to be NASA Gaming with the man himself, Spicy, not Icy. As a certain DK wanted me to do some puns about. But no, the Icy is still on the bench. And you know what? Actually, is working greatly. Koa77K has been a menace today, DK. So Icy sure might be a great player, but so is Koa. And today, he's been popping off.
Yeah, and I mean, Koa is one of the players that I've been watching for, or casting on as well, for a good long while. Because Koa also used to participate in my region. So, yeah. Always exciting to see how the players evolve and progress. But speaking about progression, I'm not expecting too much of that to happen over towards the edge of where we were at just then. But now, BLL though, Max, they already have 1 elimination under their belt. They could look to go a little bit more crazy here, as they do have NASA holding up alongside them. I believe this is NASA Extreme, as we do have Styles and Viper or Vipper, or however you want to pronounce that name, and Blazer just holding on the back end. Beautiful nade from Rexo though.
There was a point blank grenade, just like right. I think the grenade even hit him before exploding. So that was a very interesting piece of utility from Rexo, from Team BLL, or as I like to call them, Bleu.
Yeah.
I don't like to call them like that. I'm just meaning Golden Marauder also there. It's going to be joined up by some foes. It's going to be NASA now regrouping. He gets a knockdown with the UMP, but it's just not going to be enough to actually get himself the flush. But his teammates, the cavalry, is indeed here. As we swap over to Vicious, and we'll never know the conclusion to that fight unless we check out the elimination feed. And right now, I believe NASA is fully eliminated. So BLL taking home another dub.
Yeah, they just said bleh, and then take that. So here we go with the graveyard. Essentially, the Vicious right smack dab center. Ooh, Hugo Boss and the rest are also now positioned just over towards the south. Of course, it's not the same NASA team, this being the players there from NASA Gaming, currently held up in 13th position overall. But a widespread, and that zone just keeps on challenging everybody as it now moves up into Hacienda del Patron, and we move into the more hill section with a lot of dips and valleys to try and cover here.
Yep, and Hacienda del Patron is going to be the main focal point, because the reason why is the city itself, the buildings itself aren't that great inside, but you can get on top of the roof, and boy, the roofs on that little hilltop initially is just incredibly, incredibly powerful. So I think some teams, maybe it's going to be Alliance, maybe it's going to be Team Rain looking to seize control of that area, and they could get a massive advantage off the back of that. Or it could be Vicious, just being like, we're Vicious, we can do whatever the hell we want, we're just going to yoink it for our own pleasure. And we did have Redox. He's somewhat scouting it with his own car, so he's looking, is their team already posted up on those roofs, or can we just yoink it for ourselves? It seems like that might be a no. They might just be going slightly higher up north of this road, and just calling that their main home base for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, we do see rain just up to the north as well, so there might be a little bit of a clash potentially coming through here. But in the meantime, it is going to be EBL. The players there from Alliance finding themselves in a bit of an altercation all the way up in towards that northeastern side of the zone. Meanwhile, the Romanian Evolution squad having it nice and tranquil over on towards the southwestern side of zone. Meanwhile, the southeast is where a lot of the chaos is going to ensue, as we do see quite a few teams all just rolling on up. Here it is going to be Big Baby. We've got Rosa coming in. We've got the Romanian squad, as well as the players then from NASA Esports, I believe that is. So, yeah, a lot of pressure. NASA Esports already starting off with the action as they now start popping up over on towards the far western front, finding themselves a little bit of that evolution. But now Big Baby Max making a bit of noise here up in the hills.
Yeah, really good hilltop positions to play around. In terms of scouting angles, can't do much better. It's just so elevated compared to the rest of the northern terrain, which is exactly where Circle 3 and possibly Circle 4 is going to be shifting towards. So it's not going to be too bad of a transition point. Though over to the western edge near San Martin Mountain, it's going to be the boys themselves. Romanian Evolution are going to be clashing with NASA. It's going to be Flux on the front line. Oh, that nade is looking really good, and indeed right on the money. Flux is out. And that should be giving a bit more confidence for Wave to commit to the push, take control of the ridge. But NASA, as a response, also got their very own off angles, trying to make sure they surround Wave so he can't do too much. And that nade to the face is definitely going to stop him straight in his tracks.
Well, maybe sometimes the tracks is all they have to work with. We'll see how this one plays out. But now, Evolution trying to lock it in. NASA Esports, though, cooking up a few nades. Ooh, Wiki trying to bring Flux back into the swing of things, and this could be exactly what they need. But now Diablo has been spotted. Down he goes as Narvalo sneaks up right behind them, just trying to strengthen the edge of that zone. Some pretty good aggression coming through here. Well, this is where NASA Esports needs to decide who they're going to focus on, right? Are they going to look over towards the eastern side or focus down towards the south? Because either which way, they're going to have to pick a fight.
They are eventually going to have to pick that fight. But for now, we've got so many engagements happening, especially these southern ones that I'm looking at. Got Oro, Big Baby. Going to have also NASA making those moves into the graveyard. That's going to be a bit hectic. As Big Baby finally looking to defend this hilltop, well, not this hilltop, this little balcony position inside the building. And EXO will be successful and stand strong as the champion of that 1v1 altercation. But his teammate Overladdie also getting involved on his own fight, it seems, on his own turf. And they're going to be having themselves an absolute field day. That grenade is looking good. Going down this little staircase. Skiro. Oh, there you go. The second grenade is going to be a decent trade-off. The damage connecting. And why did he run down without a weapon? Was he out of ammo? Maybe he was, but that was definitely not the way he was going to win it. Guns versus, well, his guns on his arms were just not going to cut it. And Overladdie and also EXO will be coming out champions of that fight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though. A good attempt has been put in there by 4 warriors, but unfortunately it went the way it went. And now we get to see what is going to happen as we are down to 11 teams, right? We are almost hitting placement point territory. Still going to look at the 4 of the players there from the Romanian Evolution squad to get themselves situated. They do have Rosa up ahead of them. Also then still the players from NASA situated on that very southern edge, just outside of zone. They are spotting a little bit of that Big Baby rotation, but so does BLL. So a very difficult rotation now for Big Baby to make up into this next zone.
Oh, come on. BLL. Are they going to be allowed to just chill on the roadside, or are they going to have to start thinking about what their next move is going to be? I'm sure they're already thinking about that next step. But oh, Romanian Evolution, here you go, going to be clashing with NASA. That's a decent lineup, but unfortunately he's just not going to be paying off whatsoever. Spicy put down behind that rock, and so will his teammate. NASA just getting picked up like flies at this point. But the high ground position of Christie is massive. The smoke blooming a little bit too late, but it might be able to allow Wave to just survive on just a slither of HP as he keeps on bleeding on out. And now Hugo Boss is going to be making it to that ridge, grenade in hand. 2 more seconds on the pin. He chucks it down. Will it do the damage? Will it do the work? Apparently not going to go for that knock, but the follow-up might be enough as he chucks it far into the blue zone, it seems. But you got to speed up. You got to end this fight soon. Otherwise, you won't have the opportunity to bring up your 2 other teammates back to life.
Yeah, especially now with this being stage number 4, about to hit stage number 5. That blue is going to be absolutely devastating. Oh, no. Christy now. Going to be the only hopeful left to see if they can pick up the few remaining pieces of their team. And, I mean, Max, that is a slow, steady crumble coming through there.
The most unsincere "oh no" I've ever heard. Oh, no. Anyway, let's move. Oh, I want that as a clip. That's just a beautiful expression from DK. That's amazing. Yeah, looking at Rosa Valea, Dennis peeking a little bit further, doing a good old 3-1 split. But he sees the circle, says, yeah, this is not worth it to focus on NASA. We're going to start thinking about the next step of this game, which is going to be making a cross over the road, in the open field near San Martin. While Vicious, it seems like they just can read right into the future in their crystal ball. They know where the circle is going to go. They're always dead center, it seems. And that early rotation we saw on Circle 2 was just what they needed to make sure they secure center very early on in this match. As we have a few replays there, 4 warriors fight. And 4 warriors, unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, fully out of this game. So we know the ending to that fight, it didn't go too well for them.
Yeah, but Max, also the thing is, you don't exactly need a crystal ball if you've got a good IG out, right?
That's true.
you know, just good at predicting where that zone is going to be going and just reading the zone like the back of their hand. Speaking of which, though, can Rosa, well, recover their vehicle? Because that health on Don and the rest of the team is looking pretty crazy. Oh, but they are super exposed. Look at that southern position coming through from NASA. They could definitely make a major upset here now for Rosa. I mean, that is NASA on two sides, because Zethus on the one, and of course then Blink, Flux, Diablo, and Salam coming through on the other side, but they've not yet spotted out the Rosa Flea team. So there's still a little bit of hope, but we do see Zethus going down as again, right, the players from the side of the Vicious continue to rain down chaos on this lobby.
Yeah, and talking about raining down here, we're going to be looking at Team Rain. Looking at Alliance, making sure they can maybe get some more involved in that rotation to the east. They're going to be making it through the field positions. Also, there's going to be some players of EBL in the open area. So Alliance versus EBL could be happening very soon. Will Team Rain want to get fully involved in that, or will they just decide to third party from a distance? We'll have to find that out in just a few short minutes, hopefully. As yeah, Alliance here, all of their options kind of denied entirely by EBL. That Molotov is going to be perfectly positioned. Gets in the car, but as we can see there, he gets knocked on down. His teammate now, Bubusoft, going to be remaining with the Lollysoft. But I don't think is going to be quite enough to deal not only with the side of EBL, but also Team Rain maintaining pressure on this location. And now Nabuni, Reyes, going to get in that grenade range, chucking everything over to their side. But Lollysoft here, that smoke is going to be blooming. That could be a decent little bit of an advantage to deny information away from EBL, as a grenade going to do significant damage, not to one, but actually two players of EBL. And Lollysoft, even as a follow-up grenade, going to be chucking a little bit too wide as he gets back shot here from the side of Rain. And Rain, you see all these eliminations showing up. That's a ton of elims you can possibly gather for yourself. Maybe it would be great for them to third party and push on this location.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great, but let's see whether or not that is going to be their approach here, as it is an absolute bombardment now coming through here from EBL. They are just looking to maybe bring Black back into the fight. Not quite sure if that res is going to come through in time, as they have to go all over the place. Black very separated from the rest of the team, as we did see. I believe that was... Ooh, yeah, no, that is the end of Black, unfortunate. But now it is going to be Alliance given a bit of an opportunity here, Max. They have the chance to try and bounce back a little bit, at least for the time being. Oh, but unfortunately, that gets cut quite short as Reyes now rears over the ridge and puts the shots right into the side of them. Now it's up to Lollysoft. Can Lolly survive this one as the shots continue to rain on down? Molly's now joining in the fight as well. An absolute carnage starting to descend down upon this lobby.
Yep, that was unfortunately a little bit of a death send of Alliance, making it outside of that warehouse in the fields. But they gave it a fair shot. Didn't quite work out for themselves, but they definitely had to do something, and that is what they did. Big Baby now defending the southern side. Rosa Flea going to have to start to think about pushing them eventually, but right now they're trying to delay it. They know the moment they start bleeding over that ridge, it's going to be absolute mayhem. Also, they don't know the exact pinpoint accurate location of all of the Big Baby members, which makes it very, very hard for them to commit to that push. You're just going in fully blind, it seems, at least for the first 5 to 10 seconds, before you know exactly where all the players are positioned. NASA also taking a bit of a casualty to the hands of Narvalu with that grenade. But the thing is, Vicious, I don't feel like they're even trying in this game. They just in that compound. They've seen everyone fight. They'll take some eliminations if they can. But as of right now, they've not been tested whatsoever. And we talked about it, DK. If we wanted any team to try and catch up, they need to go out early. We're in top 8. Placement points are starting to roll on in. And I'm telling you, I don't think they're going to be an 8th place team in that position.
Nah, no. They won't allow that to happen. I mean, if you look at what they're doing here, they're doing enough to ensure that nobody is going to dare push on them. Right? They are just reminding the lobbies like, hey, remember, this position is taken. Don't try and contest it. Don't try and play an upset here, or you will well, be giving us some additional points. So, yeah, some pretty good messages being sent across the board. Redox now getting focused on, as that res could potentially be coming through. But we do say goodbye to Roflo as the blue zone swoops on in. BLL, though, up they come. Cheeky Nade heading over towards Big Baby. Is that nade going to connect up? It does find a little bit of damage onto EXO. but not enough to write home about, as Dennis now is going to be feeling that sting as well. I want to see Dennis hit Dennis. That'd be insane.
Ooh,
But for now,
could be insane.
we are going to look to Don.
Yep, here we go. Don, the man who did a clutch yesterday. 1v4 in Miramar. There's no warehouse to be seen here currently in the vicinity. So, it's not going to be as perfect setup, and the blue zone's doing so much damage. I would say, yep, just deny. Rosa Flair, no, there's no way in hell they are making it out of that position. So, might as well give the eliminations over to the blue zone. Good old Papa Blue will be loving it to get himself some elims. But circle does shift in the center. And actually, no team in the middle of this circle. Everyone else going to have to fight on the edge. Team Rain should be fighting Vicious eventually. On the southern edge, it's going to be complete madness. As here we go, a rooftop angle from Rexo is going to be held on down. Drops actually down below. I think he's starting to think of making that transition because EBL are quick about it. Going for that 2-2 split. 2 plays south of the road, 2 plays to the east. Actually, that's not a bad play overall, but it is making you way weaker to a full-on fight. And as of right now, Overladdie will be the first to fall.
Well, is that only the first of many yet to come? We'll find out very soon, as we do see Vicious now prepping for the sprays over towards Grodex and the rest of Rain. For a time there, Vicious was the only team with a player held up in zone. But of course, unfortunately, there for the side of Rain, they do also then rotate right up in front of the EBL team. So, very unfortunate angle to try and play at. Still quite a contentious position held over on towards the southern side. Koa, Wiki trying to get themselves patched up. Novello is going to be bleeding out for the time being. Rexo could find himself in a bit of an opportunity, but Exo is there as well. So this could be quite a bit of a sandwich play, but that is a quick finish for the side of Big Baby. Out they go, done and dusted. Down to the final 4 we are, Max.
Novello, again, always the first one to get eliminated, it seems, when they do get involved in a fight. But the rest of the squad is still looking really healthy. To be honest, that was overkill. That was overconfidence. They did not have to do what they just did. But they just feel like, we're first place. We know we've won this tournament. Why the hell not? Let's do it for the memes. And Novello got memed on real hard. But BLL looking to make that cross over the road. And so far, it's been facilitated by the loss of Novello. And the smoke's also going to be making it harder for Doran possibly to hit those nades. So right now, BLL, it's not an easy cross, but so far it is working in a decent fashion in their favor.
But I like what BLL has been doing so far here today. I mean, today they've been super, super active, right? Really getting themselves into a whole variety of different positions. So curious to see how this match is going to play out for them. Sakalu taking a little bit of damage, managing to escape the majority of that. But now it's going to be that send coming through here from EBL. They know that they have to apply the pressure. They can almost taste those eliminations, but, well, it tastes so good that Keme gets taken on down. So they are not going to get that one served on a platter, right? They're going to have to work really, really hard for it because Rain also want to try and move up with regards to their overall position.
I wish they pushed on to EBL a little bit early on in this game. I think they could have been involved in that fight with them and Alliance, but they just let it be. And now the circle is forcing them into a fight they could have taken way earlier and I think had a also better chance of winning. But now Team Rain, they already lost Grodex, one of the heavy hitters. You said already earlier, DK, an MVP contender at the start of day 2. Kind of fell off, unfortunately, in these last 4 matches. Now it's going to be Sicario and Christian, and also Robbie, that did get Rez back up and did use the first aid, but Rez from EBL here behind that car, behind now this rock, having a hard time to survive. One good grenade could be the end of it, and actually as I say that, it's going to be Dorian trying to take that job for himself. The first one does some work, the second one might be the nail in the coffin, and it is indeed going to do just that. And the bunny is going to be out of this one, and that's going to be also the end of Reres. EBL, game over.
Yeah, the rabbit is out of the hat, but let's see what is going to come through as Rain is now still left to defend a 3v3 showdown. There's going to be Koa, Doran, and Redox as they do find the spray up into Robbie, Sakalu, and Christian. Beautiful nade over the top. Koa just trying to move up. Almost getting stopped right in his tracks. A little bit of an overcook there. Koa could have been in trouble, but unfortunately wasn't the case. And now it is one player left here for the side of Rain to defend from the absolute brutality about to descend down upon them as the Vicious are prepping for their 3rd victory. Oh, there we have it. Game, set, match. The Vicious claiming the turkey for today. 2 Erangels and a Miramar. Back-to-back-to-back wins.
You know they're just having so much fun in this lobby. They went up and they trying to pan the final player. I don't even know if they got it. I think they may have got the pan elimination at the end to secure that chicken dinner on Miramar, but the Vicious are having their time of their life right now, and I'm loving it. They're memeing on the lobby. They're like, we can do it. We know we've won at this point. We could get a 0-point game moving into the final match, and we'll still be crowned the champion alongside Moneymakers. So, love to see what Vicious are doing. And yeah, again, you said earlier, I was talking about the crystal ball. They know where the circle's going to go, but you said you just need to have a good IGL. And right now, that's really all there is to it. You have great fragging power, great IGLing, putting you at the right place at the right time. And that is how you keep getting win after win after win, now securing 3 matches in a row.
Makes it look like magic, Max. Makes it look like magic. And I mean, what a lot of magic we've seen on the screen already. But it's not over just yet, right? Because we've got to take a look at those overall points to see just how insane that gap is. But also then to see whether or not the Vicious are going to try and go for the 4th win, winning all the non-rondos for the day.
It would be just... The thing is, it could happen. They're so far ahead of everyone else. They could definitely try and meme it to the max and get himself that final win to just make sure it's known. They are the kings of this lobby. 169 points. Nice. Could they reach the big old 200 with a 20 elimination bomb here at the end? Maybe. Could be in the realm of possibilities. But Big Baby also reaching the 100-point threshold. So congratulations to Big Baby. Very big games here. It's just not enough when you have a team like the Vicious in your lobby, because that kind of eclipses you entirely. And then Team Rain dropping on down. So they were a 2nd place team for a little portion of today. And it seems like they did lose that rank over to Big Baby. They made it very, very far in this game. And EBL also still standing strong. So yeah, top 6 currently untouched. And I do think, looking at this, DK, we have 68 points over to Team Moldova. We have 46 points over to Romania Evolution. I think we have our top 6 teams that will have a portion of this prize pool. I think it's done. I think it's game over. Only those teams can swap their own ranks now.
Yeah. I think now it's just down to who gets what share of that prize pool, right? Because, I mean, realistically, we can see Team Rain still catch Big Baby in this last match. We can see a bit of a shift upcoming through between EBL, Rosa Flia, and of course, Team Moldova, right? That could also quite comfortably happen. So, yeah, it's now just down to how much money do they want, right? They can choose, right? They can't get the most, they can't get the biggest share of the money, but they can choose what they want out of the rest.
Yeah, you might not have the 1st place amount of money, but you might get the 2nd or 3rd place, because that is all you're going to be able to fight for this time. But if you want to see, I was going to say who's going to be crowned the champions. We know who that's going to be. If you want to see who's going to be crowned 2nd place, make sure to come back right after this break.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sona yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya.
Abi şimdi de
Ben sev...
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başka hiç yok.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz zaten.
TETO Games aynı.
Tahmini de aldım dur.
Ben çekemem vardı, bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
Gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya.
Abi şimdi de
Ben sev.
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başka bir şey yok.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
Ya beyler.
Abi ya.
Abi şimdi de
Ben sev.
TETO Games.
Aynen. Ya şimdi Mardin'sin başka bir şey yok.
Tamam. Biliyorum.
Sen de ay deseniz hala.
TETO Games aynı.
Ahmet'i de aldın dur.
Abi çekiyorum ben de bir şanssız ya.
Every game has a beginning, but some never truly end. Time never stops here. Opponents change, but the stage always stays open. This is not just an ordinary tournament. This is competition renewed every single week. It's not for everyone, only for those who are ready. The best of esports are here. Because this is TETO Games always on. The game never stops.
Evet beyler, yeni skinleri gördünüz mü?
gördüm. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı? Gördüm beyler. Al ve sana yakışmaz mı?
And it's time right now, right here, today, to crown our Romanian champion here for the Always On monthly final. Season 1 is going to be, of course, our lads of the Vicious, but we know the competition is still on for these teams in the top 6, and it's going to be curious to see who's going to be able to get that higher portion of the prize pool. I'm still Maxman, he's still DK, and we're still going to be breaking down everything here on our last game of not only today's matches, but also the entirety of these monthly finals for Poland and Romania for these Always On tournament. It's been exciting to see how Moneymakers performed, and it's been great to see how Vicious have been doing. And DK, this is the first step in so many tournaments to come. So even though some teams will be failing, unfortunately, today, it is fun to see the future prospects of these teams, of how they can improve in the long-term kind of prospect of PUBG Mobile Esports.
Yeah, I mean that's always the part that we are looking forward to, right? Is to see just how much potential these teams have and what they can look to bring to the battlefield. So, yeah, I mean, all things aside, Vicious included in that. Um, we've been looking at some pretty good performances coming in, right? Big Baby stepping up quite nicely. We did see the players there from the Team Rain also bring in quite a few surprising plays. Rosa also delivered. Team Moldova delivered. EDL delivered. So, I mean, now it's just going to be that final opportunity for those teams within the top 6 to solidify their share of the prize pool. Right, I know we've said this already, but that's pretty much what it is, right? Because Team Rain, Big Baby, only separated by 7 points. So a lot can change in just this one game, right? They can get a much larger share of the prize pool. And I mean, that could definitely help them out with, whatever they need help with. And I think that's kind of the point of this, is to help support the community and also develop the players into much stronger performers. So, yeah, I got to say, so far, it has been looking very, very exciting. And of course, it's all going to boil down to what this final showdown will have for us. And who knows, right? This could be an instance in which we see 7 points being worth quite a bit of money.
That could be the case. I mean, even a single point could have a really drastic impact on these leaderboards. But there's always this kind of conundrum when you have these leaderboards and you want to be in top 6. You know you can't win, so you just want to try and survive. Or you could take a bit more of a risk and you can try and actually fight the teams above you and actually increase your portion of the prize pool. But then if it fails, you fall back down. And that conundrum is also very important for all of these teams. So I'm curious to see how we're going to see some teams trying to lean more into the passive aspect. Like, we just want to maintain our rank. That might be especially the case for Big Baby, for Team Rain, currently in 2nd and 3rd place respectively. Or are we going to see the teams just below them, like EBL, Rosaflea, and Team Moldova, thinking, okay, we're getting some prize pool, almost 100% confirmed here, right? But what if we started to play a little bit more aggro? What if we tried to make that race to the top and get as much money as humanly possible? And then that creates that bit of a clash, right, in these top 6 situations. So I'm excited. Is that going to result in hot drops, camping rotations, or later on getting in eliminations and seeing who a team is and actually just focusing them down? A lot of different things could be happening here, DK.
I think a good tactic to go for here would be to emulate how you would play if this was your final opportunity to secure the top of the leaderboard, right? Like, if you really pushed hard in this game, you would make it to the top of the board, right, and walk away with the lion's share of the prize pool. So that's the kind of play that I want to see coming into this last match, right? That's usually the kind of play, unless there's an opportunity for somebody to take that first place away. Other than that, I want to see the pressure, right? Just like play the hardest version of PUBG that you can. Like, play your absolute heart out. Because I think also that demands quite a bit of respect for you as well. Meaning that all the way to the end of the match, you just kept on bringing as much as you could.
So we're being brought a bit of a hot drop in San Martin, it seems. We've got 3 teams in this location. It's going to be NASA, it's going to be On Back V2, and it's also going to be EBL. Kimmy, in particular, popping off with that headshot on the UMP. And then also Branzoid taken down by another UMP player. Going to be the best hot drop weapon ever, apparently, in San Martin, it seems. But I'm surprised we're not seeing the Vicious involved. We had a little bit of a theory, DK. We were talking during the break. Are we going to see the Vicious just not give a damn anymore? They're like, we won this, and just chase down literally everything that moves. And I thought they might want to get involved in a hot drop like this, but as of right now, they're just playing their game back in Monte Nuevo and just not having a care in the world of what the hell is happening in this city.
But I think to some extent, this is actually pretty good for them, right? It prepares you for that unknown, especially when you're going up against teams that you don't have a lot of information on. So I think they're kind of treating it potentially in that way. So yeah, I would say that's quite respectable. Speaking about respectable, this feed is going absolutely crazy. EBL, NASA, all going at each other. We do see NASA Extreme also finding themselves in a bit of an altercation up in Hacienda del Patron. So, yeah, gotta love what is happening across the board here. 3 teams still gonna be fighting for control right here in, well, San Martin itself. But who will be the one with that extra notch on their shoulder, right? Who will be the one to reign supreme, at least for phase number 1?
Though I do want to say, I want to call out a team, NASA, in slot number 9, being AFK. Not cool. And the reason why is not because they can maybe do much and catch up to top 6. No, it's impossible, actually. It's more like it takes away opportunities from other teams. Like, those 4 eliminations could have a pretty drastic impact on the top 6 teams. So, it's unfortunate. Yep. Hopefully, whoever's watching this, if you do play in these kind of tournaments and you know it's game over, keep on playing. We might just be having an impact on the leaderboards regardless. So, keep on playing it. And we'll have an infinite more amount of respect for you for doing so. EBL, Rez, down below, is going to be trying to defend the lower portion of this skyscraper. But what skyscraper? Is it really a skyscraper? It's not that tall. A little skyscraper, like a cloud tickler, we can call it. Maybe, I don't know.
Is it even? Maybe like a mist tickler, because you know clouds are high up. Yeah, but the mist is nice and low.
Yeah, but it can touch the ground, the mist. So
yeah.
I am a mist tickler.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like if you spray, the worst thing that can happen is you missed. So.
Oh my god. I'm happy this is the last game, DK. This has been a rough 4 days for me, okay?
I
have to ask for a higher rate for this because I have to deal with you. Production, please! My sanity is going insane!
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, who knows? Maybe that's a tactic. Like, I'll just pretend to be crazy. That's not too difficult.
Share.
Yeah, see, I'm very convincing.
We know you're crazy, DK, okay? It's been a known fact in the scene for a while.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, those rumors are never going to end. But here we go. NASA able to, unfortunately, losing Spicy, man himself, and EBL just going on an absolute tear. Sure, they had a bit of a rougher start, but that 3-1 split is working massively in their favor. The Molotov will end, so they'll be able to advance even deeper in this building. And Black also kept dying to the hands of, I believe it was Narvalo, right, in the previous game. So this time around, hopefully going to be given an opportunity to live a little bit deeper in this game. Vicious is nowhere to be seen now, making it inside these apartment complexes. They're going to be jumping through the doors, doing so much work, and just able to overwhelm Christie. That's an easy pump to the face. And 4 limbs for EBL, slowly but surely claiming full control of this San Martin location.
Well, there we go. 1 team out of here. 1 more to go. Is on back is going to be the next potential target here for the side of EBL. I mean, after that, it could be the other NASA team that is holding a little bit further off in the distance. Of course, as you can see, Extreme now brought down to a solo as 2/3 of their team not being in a position where they can really do all that much. But Blazer could be the trendsetter, just blazing their way through or making a quick trip back to the rest of their team. But this is going to be go time as NASA Extreme now starts to move up. It is going to be on back that is going to be feeling a lot of the pressure here from Rares and the rest of EBL.
This fight's taking too long. We got Vicious, though, fighting Team Rain. That could be actually interesting, having an impact on the leaderboards, because if we see Rain get those eliminations on Vicious, they could jump up over Big Baby very soon. They got 7-point difference between themselves and Big Baby. So getting 4, boom, instantly 3 points away from Big Baby. 1 more big fight, and you could be the one taking away the 2nd highest prize pool amount for this Always On tournament. So keep an eye out on the elimination feed. Things could be getting real interesting for this squad. Outside of that, phase 1 circle, I don't know if we saw it for too long on the main feed, but it is going to be just east of El Pozo. So you got these big mountaintop pylons to the east are going to be in play, and I believe 1 team is currently using it. I believe it is actually, yeah, it is actually Team Rain. Team Rain are up there, taking shots onto Vicious, and that's how they got those 2 knocks.
Well, I mean, it's partially Rain and it's partially Alliance now joining in the fray there. But let's see what is going to come from this engagement as Unback has lost Frosty. But is that going to be the frosting on the cake as they're pushing up? Oh, down they go. And that is going to be another team out of here As On Back is down to a solo, not quite sure how they're going to be able to bounce back from that one. No, are they out? No, there we go. Yes, full confirmation has been brought in. Rosa Flea also now stepping up to the plate as they are going toe-to-toe with Alliance. Quite a few hits on either side here, right? We got Boo Boo coming up. We got Fast, Inferno. Everybody all over the place. They just need one more teammate, Max, that's called Yubi.
That took me a second. I was like, what? And well, they're currently having some financial difficulties, so hopefully no player joins them called Ubi.
Or Micro.
Micro. No! Oh my god. Okay. Damn, you take me on these tangents, man. I'm like, I know I could do my own tangents, but like you take me on those wild rides I just don't expect. I'm like, how did we get here? Just to suffer? I can't feel my legs anymore. But Vicious now did lose one of their players, it seems, or maybe even possibly two. They went back into hiding into the valley side next to Power Grid and Montenuevo. And we're going to be seeing finally Rain claiming more control on these mountainsides next to the fields of El Pozo itself. And Grodex is still alive, which that has been quite rough for him today. He's been having not the best of days. But now actually will be able to do something. And indeed, yep, Doran is out. So is Redox, who's down to Navallo, and also Koa to make it work out and get a massive game here possible.
I think what would be interesting is once we get to the last few teams that everybody just rushes up into center zone and just goes all guns a-blazing. You know, it's like, let's get it. That'd be fun to see. But we are still waiting for a few squads to roll on up. That, of course, being Big Baby all the way in Chumacera. And then the 4 warriors coming through that Ladriera position. They are approaching Monte Nuevo, but hopefully they'll just move right through it. And of course, still up in San Martin, we are looking at EBL, and Blazer is also still present over on that far side. Ooh, Navallo is spotting out a little bit of movement. Let's see what Rain is going to be doing here, as Grodex is just zeroing that scope, making sure that the moment they spot a pixel out of place that they can react quickly. But I don't know if they've spotted Kero down below.
Ooh, I think they heard that car. Yep, gonna transfer it down. Or just let him get away with it. He's like, yeah, you know what? Actually, no. I like that. Actually, you know what? It's good they didn't take the shot. Reason why? It's not going to be easy to hit, and you don't want to waste bullets on these mountaintops because you can't loot those crates. It's always going to be a bit of an issue. Unfortunately for them, they are clashing with the Team Moldova. Those are shots they can't afford to not take, so they have to take the fight head on. But Rain here taking a bit of a beating, having one of their players knocked, but so far it is not game over. But Team Moldova, are they going to understand they need to give up on this, or are they going to fully commit? Because they hold the northern peak, and Robbie's going to drop on down. So yeah, Moldova just like, now this is free real estate for us. We can take full control and just clash with Rain, which is going to use up so many of their resources. It's a win for Moldova before these two teams technically fighting consistently throughout the entirety of this game. You're going to lose resources, meds, your helmet, your vest is going to get damaged, and especially you will be running out of bullets really, really fast.
Yeah, I mean, I would maybe then, you know, not engage in that, especially looking at the fact that Moldova don't have a position within the zone. Ooh, Retro. Out of all the positions that car could have landed on, it goes for the roof, right? That is just absolutely ruthless. But either which way, Rain, though, is still going to be holding on to the high ground.
Stop
Let's see.
DK, I know it's the last game, but stop it. This time I'm held hostage.
Well, you're here for still 6 more phases, Max, so, you know, good luck. Either which way,
Thank you.
let's see whether or not Moldova is actually going to be able to get something done from here. I mean, as you said, right, this is just Sansanic just sitting there throwing ammo away, which they could have used to try and climb up into 5th place because they are still 7 points shy.
Yep. And Vicious, they're back into hiding. They're moving over to the northern edge of Montenuevo. Just having a good old time. Kimme, though, EBLA with the AUG. AUG, I'm seeing a lot more AUG usage in the past. I would say like 2 to 3 patches, that weapon. After a few of the buffs and nerfs of certain weapons, AUG, long range, I would say, okay, maybe not stronger than the M4, but comparable to an M4. That long range damage is absolutely mindless. You just spray it, you hit those shots, and man, you're going to be just completely melting your enemies if you aren't going to be quite accurate, which chances are in a lobby of this caliber, you are going to be seeing people being quite good on those augs.
But I guess it...
Still looking in.
I guess it also depends on what attachment you have on that Max. Like, you know, what grip and muzzle you smack on that. But in the meantime, unfortunately, that's not a detail that we can see really all the way from here. But we can see that Kime doesn't have a lot of ammo left in this AUG.
Ugh. No ammo.
Ugh.
Rip. What's that song? I forgot. There's one. In the bush. I forgot. Oh, damn it. It's in my... I'll have to find it now on YouTube. Right. Running through the bush. Okay, now I got it. Okay, nice. That was really annoying me for a second. Okay, I found it. Cool song. That one's fun. It was a big meme a few years ago. Don't know why. It just came to mind. Nabani, able to find himself for 1 elimination. As now the entire squad in the supercars. And that's going to be a very expensive breach as they look to claim control of that northern warehouse. Make it over the road. And they do currently have a man advantage, a 4v3, but the car explodes with that grenade of Zaki. And now the reinforcements will be joining up. Trying to surround it. These are very hard buildings to grenade too, so you've got to make sure you force the fight or you push yourself. And so far, a lot of the shots are going to be fully missed. Kimmy also going to be a next casualty in this engagement. It's Black, it's Nabunny. Sole 2 survivors here for EBL. And they are still up to 10 eliminations. It's a massive game for them, but the blue zone is going to be ticking hard. That's going to be Kurosen taken out and Zaki in a 1v2 scenario. That was a mess of a fight. But Zaki is stage 4. The damage is significant in the blue zone, but Black is going to be taking the risk. He's going to be sitting it inside the building, making sure to confirm that 1 elim. And now it is going to be him having to leave the blue and take this fight head on. The 1v2, can he make it work out in his favor?
Yeah, that is going to be a pretty tough one. Zaki, though, actually having quite a bit of control here, right? Because you can see EBL trying to play that catch-up game alongside Rain. They are trailing by just a few points. There's just 7 points standing between them and that third place. So if they can find Zaki, that would make them one step closer. They could look to find even more spray downs across the board. But now we quickly jump over to the players here from the Romanian Evolution team. So just playing to solidify their spot up in 7th place. But, ooh, beautiful hits coming through from first one Romania as we take a look at that replay. But Evolution, slow and steady push, right? Not going to be looking to overextend on anything. It is going to be quite important, though, for Team Moldova to come out of this one on some pretty good footing. Because if they let it slip here, this could be a missed opportunity to bag a little bit more of that prize pool.
Come on, Team Moldova, got to come out of the woodworks here, hopefully. Get himself a good fight versus Romanian Evolution. But no, Sansanic just going to be looking to get the hell out of Dodge. Back into the fields near the warehouse, which is technically still in circle, so they don't have to take this fight, but I like it. They're being proactive instead of reactive. They're trying to take a fight before this becomes an issue, becomes a fight they just can't avoid. They want to do it while it's still in control, but as of right now, it is not going to be looking too good. The kickoff is not in their favor. Retro, instantly out of the picture. Sansanic, watch me. Trying to hopefully bring him back to life with a bit of utility to build some space and push away one of the players of Romanian Evolution. That grenade, or could it be looking good? A bit short for Watch Me. I'm a bit surprised. Romanian Evolution, despite creating a man advantage, are not trying to capitalize on this and push up and eliminate Retro. They're being very respectful, almost too much, which will allow Sansanic to get his own knock. And Retro, though, will be knocked on down to Sansanic now. Watch Me may be able to pull the clutch of the day.
Well, let's see if that one is going to happen. Wave also now pushing up. Oh, comes in hot with the DBS. Will he get 2 for 2, though? Yep, indeed he does. Beautiful push coming through as, well, Romanian Evolution ends the run there for Team Moldova. But, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a stressful play now for Team Moldova because, as we know, coming into this match, they needed 7 points to catch up to Rosa Flia. So, I don't know if they've been able to do that. We'll see. Well, and of course, the confirmation will only come through at the end, which is not too far away. 6 teams remain. We can see Don, they're from Rosa, still holding on. And there is still an opportunity for Don to, well, bag a few additional points, especially when those utilities come out, if he has any.
If he has any. Hopefully he can just loot a few of these crates also for Evolution. And get himself all of those utility pieces. Because they have to move anyways. Like we did see, they did have a few cars, so they can easily move forward if they want down south in the circle east of Monte Nuevo. But actually, this circle is very unkind to a lot of these teams because it's somewhat going to end in a field area surrounded by high ground position, except for the southern side, which is going to be held down by, I believe... No, that's not Vicious. I don't know who that is. I can't see it. Their name is barely outside of my map feed. But it's not going to be fun because you're going to have all these teams trying to play edge, and then you're going to be forced over the ridge eventually in the later circles if it does keep on going decently center. So these teams are going to be tested to their limits, DK, and I love it. Hard circles always the best way to see which teams are good and which teams still need to improve.
Yeah, so we still have Big Baby all the way on that far southern side. The 4 warriors, as we can see right over here, over on towards the western edge of zone. EBL in the southeastern side. We've got Rosa just outside of zone. BLL towards the north. And of course then the Romanian Evolution now rotating up from that northwestern side with the sprays coming through here from Keystone. And the rest of BLL as they're looking to bag a few points.
Oh yeah. Dashes and bangers. Romanian Evolution, yet making it over to the ridge. They made it over the road. They're fine. They're big chilling currently. As long as you're in the play zone, that is all you should really care of. But EBL also, there you go. They went in the more valley area. Still got a little bit of a plateau to play around, but that is going to be... This is by far the best position. EBL, it might not be a game-winning position, but at this stage, this is the best you could possibly have. As you're going to have some walls to work with and also able to maybe take a few sneaky shots at teams trying to get in those fields or at least around the fields. So Black in particular, this little position is great. The only issue is they only have a duo of Nabuni and Black. So in case of a breach, it's going to be very hard for them to hold down the fort.
I mean, the stressful part about what we're looking at right here is... the top 6 is still not confirmed. Right? Yes, Team Moldova, I think, is potentially maybe confirmed where they finished, right? But we still have Rosa Flea in the mix. We still have EBL in. We don't have Rain in here anymore, but we still have Big Baby in. So, yeah, Max, there's still a lot of potential upsets that could happen in just these last few moments. But I don't know if Don is going to maybe try and play for that, right? Because they might be quite close to where EBL is with regards to those points, and everything for now is a mystery.
It's a mystery, but we're going to have the solution to that mystery coming up very soon. Detectives are on the case. Ooh. Is that Glacier UAZ? I think it is. It's kind of cool. I like that. Glacier everything. We have Glacier everything nowadays. We've got every single skin as a Glacier for every weapon, every vehicle. I think we're going to have a Glacier glider at some point and plane. If not, we already have it and I just haven't seen it yet. But Big Baby over Laddie trying to make a push for one of these little hay bale areas in the center of the fields, which will be able to work out in his favor. He will make it. That might actually get him an easy top 3, by the way. That is a big, big push forward. But look at 4 Warriors. They took so bloody long to make any movement away from that southern compound. They're finally going to be getting in those cars, but where the hell are they going to go? Because I believe they have no intel on what's ahead of them. And even then, they're still leapfrogging, getting in a position that's still not quite in circle. I think a crash onto EBL might be their best option. Otherwise, you're giving up a game that you could still win because you have 4 players alive. And as I say that, one of the players is taken out. So now, as a trio, I guess.
Well, let's see what the play will be, because, well, they have to move. The zone is not giving them much of a choice here. We got Overladdie also just holding on the edge, playing a serious game of please don't shoot me. Oh, but has been found out. This is now the Sheriff coming in with a bounty. We'll get to see if they can claim that final one. The one also popping off a few shots. So, for the 4 Warriors, still looking to find eliminations, but instead the team has been brought down to half, right? Kind of just cut right down the middle. But you got to commend the efforts that they've brought in here, trying to get themselves into that next position. EBL though, Max, I like what they're doing as well, right? Being a bit of a menace on the edge of that zone.
Sorry, I want to focus on it. Why would four warriors go here? Your two teammates just got knocked in the exact location you're crashing. It is so risky, and guess what? Yeah, the one is going to be knocked on down, and I think that might be a squad wipe even, with the grenades coming out from over Laddie. Look, there was a reason your teammates got knocked. You focus on your duo. Try to do something with it. Not trying to go for a desperate attempt at recalling your two teammates. It's just never going to work out. And in this case, he is going to be possibly eliminated in the next few seconds. Unless a miracle happens. Which it might. Who knows. But now over to the west, you've got still Romanian Evolution, which DK, I think they're going to be a big contender here. Alongside BLL for this final chicken dinner of the Always On Romanian tournament.
So much up for grabs here, Max. So much. Oh, nice play by Don, trying to sneak in a cheeky elimination. But EBL on 14 eliminations. Max, I think they are chasing Rain. Coming into this match, they needed a lot of eliminations to try and close that gap up, right? That was about, what, I think 16 points. We do know that Rain secured a few additional points as well. So I like this effort coming through from EBL, trying to hop into third place, but all will be revealed once we get to the end of this game. Somehow, miraculously, the four warriors have been able to survive. Overlady tried really hard to get the shots in over here. Ooh, the one getting picked up there by Nebuni. And now Sheriff, the last one left, to see can they make anything happen. Such a tough spot. And I have to agree, you said earlier, this is not the best rotation to make, because this is exactly where the players got taken down earlier. But let's see, can they maybe somehow turn this whole situation around?
I mean, I would say at this point, it's been proven that this spot is terrible. Just res up your teammates and deny to blue. You don't have any cars. No amount of smokes would allow you to transition throughout an entire field, by the way. So I would say just count your winnings. You made it to top 4, maybe top 3 if you're lucky. You might survive a little bit deeper in this game, but just don't give the points to your enemies. It's not worth it at that point. Even though actually they're not even in the top 6, so for the memes you could do it, I guess. But if it was an actual proper competitive mindset, that would not make any sense. BLL, sorry. Going to be going for their own push versus EBL. Two very similar team names this time, and they are going to be looking to commit to it. Black, though, sole defender of the warehouse, of the farm area. As we shall see if his loadout M4 UMP will be enough to pull off the clutch, or if he can even get the res on his teammate of Nabuni, and he will be able to crawl his way to safety behind the staircase. Back as a duo, possibly? Question mark.
I was looking at that grenade timer just ticking off. I almost thought that he was like, that was a different sign off or something. It's like, you know what? I'm just pop the nade, have my teammate come in, and that's us for the day. But yeah, good to see that I was wrong. But here we go though, Keystone quickly getting picked up as there's now a full send. EBL still holding strong and claiming 16 eliminations. Oh my goodness. They're not out of the woods just yet. Up comes the final push. They still have to deal with one more imposter holding in their building. And all of that before the next zone comes in.
And again, multiple 1v1s were given to EBL. BLL will never learn. Oh, that grenade being cooked. He heard the pin. You don't want to show yourself. You got 13 bullets left. Oh my god. You heard the pin of the grenade. We knew what was going to happen. And yeah, he stands his ground. And that will not be working out. EBL, 17 eliminations. Maybe we're going to be able to end things off here, DK, with a 20 elimination Miramar chicken dinner. Not a Rondo. A Miramar 20 elimination bomb would be massive to end things off. But it's just Black. It's just Nabuni. They did it once here in a 2v3. Can they make it happen in a proper 2v4 scenario versus Romanian Evolution?
Max, the upset here would be if EBL gets this chicken. They came into the match trailing by 23 points behind second place, right? Because they were in 4th place at the start of this match.
Yeah.
They already have an immense amount of eliminations. So I think they're not satisfied with pushing for 3rd. They are attempting to try and push for 2nd place finish.
Oh. He's trying his best. Unfortunately, Black was picked off, so it's down to Nabuni. He's going to deny to the blue. He's going to give it a shot. He's going to give it a fair attempt. Would have needed 23 points to overtake second spot of Big Baby. And they're not going down without taking a fight. Yeah, the shots connecting nicely, actually. Getting some damage done. It's just not going to result in a knock as of right now. And I think that, yeah, he's still got 15 bandages. He's got himself one first aid. He spots Wave. He's going to try and confirm it. Almost gets it. Denied to the blue zone. It's just not quite worth it. And Wave will be able to escape and not give that 1 point away. But Romanian Evolution will be securing the final chicken dinner here for the always-on Romanian monthly finals season 1. But with that said, it is time also to check out our champions. Now, of course, are going to be none other than the Vicious. Congratulations, these guys have been on fire. Don't act surprised, DK. We knew exactly what we were getting into right now. And these guys have been a menace from start to finish, gaining back-to-back wins sometimes. These guys are your undisputed champions of the Romanian edition of the Always On tournament.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal gameplay that we saw from them here. I mean, they ended on a strong note as well. Yeah, still playing a little bit of a cheeky game all the way to the very, very end of it. And I think that's quite commendable, right? Everybody, I believe, tried as best as they could coming into this final match to see where it would take them. And as we did see, they were also able to hit more than 100 eliminations over just these past 2 days. So we've seen 2 squads do that now. We had the Moneymakers over in Poland, and now the Vicious coming through for Romania. So a lot of excitement in this TETO Games events, the always-on PUBG Mobile insanity that they brought to us.
Yeah, it's been really riveting to witness all of these amazing games from, of course, as you said, the Polish side and the Romanian side of things. And yeah, Vicious, I mean, looking at them again, congratulations on winning this side of things. But this is a team that would win a regional event, a global event, like of the mainline tournaments. I wouldn't be shocked. So this is just a little bit of a side mission for them at this point, just having a good old fun. But you know what? It's a great opportunity for all the other teams. They played against one of the best squads in the world, and hopefully they can come back even stronger in the next monthly finals of the Always On Romanian tournament. With that said, I think it's time to check out the leaderboards here, DK, to see exactly what are things looking like at these rankings. 175 and Big Baby able to hold on to their second rank with the points. But they went into this game, by the way, DK, with 100 points. If they got 0, they would have been tied by EBL. I'm not sure of the tiebreaker rule set, but they would have tied with EBL. That goes to show how big of a final game EBL just had.
Yeah, I mean, that was absolutely crazy, but I'm pretty sure that Rain is not too happy by that performance coming through from EBL in this last game. I mean, but you got to give it to EBL, right? They just brought so much all the way to the very end of that game, almost being able to get their hands on that winner chicken dinner. If they were able to do that, that would have been, what, 4 eliminations for them, in addition to what they have, plus 4 more points, so that's 8. Yep, it would have, if they got the chicken, it would have placed them solely right there in second place. So a very, very strong effort coming through from them. And I love to see all of this insanity just in a span of 2 days from each of the regions.
Yeah, it's been very exciting. But you know what? I don't want the production team to show the graphic for the MVP just yet. I want us to have a little bit of a game. DK, who is your prediction when it comes to MVP of this entire Romanian edition of the Always On tournament?
Ooh. Well, I know it's not... Wow, that's actually... Well, obviously, I would say it's going to be someone from Vicious, right? I mean, that's if I'm using my common sense, right? But which one of them? Let's go with... Redox.
Okay. I kind of want to have a fun game here. Even though Koa just played 1 day, right? He replaced Icy. He had such a good day. Wouldn't it be fun if he was MVP with only half the matches played? So I'm going to go ahead and say Koa is going to be our MVP. Let's check it out with the graphics. See who is going to be our MVP. And it's going to be none other than my French homie of Narvalo. 29 eliminations, 6 assists, and over 5,800 damage. This guy's been a beast. Sometimes going out early, but you know what? The time he's alive, DK, he's an absolute menace in the lobby. And shown once again that he is one of the best players out there.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal performance coming through from Narvalo here. But, I mean, you were talking about Koa, right? I just noticed that Koa brought in 25 eliminations today.
In 1 day?
Today.
That's an insane average.
Wow.
5 elims per game, every time, every single game. The guy was crazy on his angles too. So, you know what? Koash, sure, maybe not MVP of the tournament, but I think he would be MVP of the day with those kind of results. So, GG, well played to him and the entirety of the Vicious, but of course to every other 15 teams who participated in this event. So, with that said, DK, it's been an absolutely riveting last 4 days. Really, really happy with how things went down. Anything you would like to add before we do wrap this up?
I want to see the teams that participated that didn't make it into prize pool position. In the next one, I want to see them be contenders for the prize pool, right? I want to see them go and fix what they know needs fixing, come back stronger, and just kick butt coming into the next season.
I'm just hoping every single event, the lead that was created by Vicious and Moneymakers in their respective tournaments is just shrinking every time until one day they kind of even Steven with the rest of the lobby. But with that said, guys, that is going to be it. Of course, thank you so much, DK, for casting these games with me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to all of the production team on TETO's Games crew. They've been fantastic from start to finish. Thank you so much for having us on this. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure. And thank you to all the players. And of course, you guys at home checking out the broadcast. Without you, these tournaments wouldn't be able to happen in the first place. Of course, check out tetosgame.com. You have all the information over there about these tournaments and also other games if you want to check it out. And make sure to come into the next edition here of the Always On Romanian and Polish monthly finals, because we got more seasons right after this one. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you very soon for some more PUBG Mobile esports action.